It's the eve of your death, and I don't give a flying fuck.
Welcome to the Swine Brothers Show, episode 148 for May the 17th, 2018. You can email us at cosmicgodsdie at gmail.com. As ever, Facebook is Swine Brothers and Twitter is SwineBro666. I am your never eloquent host, Elliot Lindemood. My co hosts for this evening are.
I am the Gem, and life's just another flying fuck.
And I'm Danman.
Before we start, I have a little bit of metal politics bullshit calling out to do. Ghost. I am calling out Ghost, putting you on the spot. Okay, first of all, I will forgive that their name is also the name of an obscure death metal band from Poland who released one album because only I would know that, or anyone who listened to the band Vader because they did a cover of Ghost. I will forgive that. Their music is a Blue Oyster Cult ripoff, whatever. On their new album, which was called Prequel, because they can, I guess. Would you like to know two of the songs on their album? Life Eternal is the last track, and the new track they just premiered today, which sucks, is Dance Macabre. Now, Life Eternal is the name of a Mayhem album, or is a Mayhem song and later EP, which apparently Dead wrote just before he killed himself. Now, that's a pretty well known song. It's off of the Mysterious Doom Satanas album. And it seems a little bit weird that Ghost would use that song title when it's yes, bands borrow song titles all the time, but it's a pretty odd title. Dance Macabre is even worse. That is an instrumental off Celtic Frosts, or it's actually Celtic Frosts. Into the Morbid Tales album. Sorry, Morbid Tales EP. So that's another one that they stole. So Ghosts are thieves. I mean, it seems a little bit odd to me that they would just come up with these two song titles of well-known. I mean, it's not like this is off some obscure demo. It seems weird that they would come out with these total coincidentally. So I think Tobias is a goddamn thief.
Probably just a status-seeking glory hound.
I mean, by the way, Jim, I'm gonna call my new band Megadeth. I'm gonna release an album called Kill 'Em All, and have song titles like Angel of Death and Altar of Sacrifice. Totally coincidental.
Symphony of Destruction. That sounds awesome.
Totally coincidental.
Yay, totally coincidental.
Sorry, I just wanted to get that off my chest because nobody's realizing that. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Dance Macabre is actually an instrumental song that's been around for ages and not terribly uninspired.
But it doesn't seem weird that okay, it's not.
It's also named by the Stephen King novel.
Yes, well, you know what you have to make careful of? That you don't put your shit on Spotify.
Or that you do. Because this is hilarious.
Spotify's ban on hateful content and conduct is too subjective and dangerous, experts say. From Variety.
Well, yeah, everything that's hateful conduct. I mean, I'll tell you some of the stories I know from rock stars.
As they become relevant.
Even mentioned them.
It is probably safe to say that Spotify did not get the reaction it expected on Thursday when the company announced a new policy against hate content and hateful conduct.
Hate content and hateful. Okay, what about the band Hate? Great band from Poland, Hate. What about Hate Eternal?
Ah, yes. I just... regarding the artists it chooses to promote, and then announced via simultaneously published interview that the first artist to be targeted by this policy will be R. Kelly. And hours later, rapper XXX Tentacion. I don't know who these people are.
I know who R. Kelly is. He's
like
an
that was the guy
R&B
that
singer.
pissed on people, wasn't it?
Yes, he's the guy who pissed on people, and yeah, he's R&B singer.
Okay. I think I only know that because I saw like someone spoofing it once. I don't know.
I had to listen to the entire fucking Trapped in the Closet saga once, so yes, I know who he is. Unfortunately.
Oh, you should be glad you can't see him, Elliot. You would not like it.
Okay, I'll take your word for it because my eyes don't do what they're meant to do.
The streaming giant may have expected to be hailed for its wokeness and its solidarity with #MeToo.
Wokeness. Stop using the word woke as incorrectly, you millennial swine.
Euthanize the lot.
Euthanize the youth.
Yes. Along with RCA Records, they were called out by the Me Too thing. Ticketmaster, Apple Music, and North Carolina Avenue.
RCA Records, one of the worst.
North Carolina venue.
Wait. RCA Records, one of the worst record labels I could think of. Ticket Bastard, who has no fans anywhere. And I don't know about the North Carolina venue. I just wanted to rant about Ticket Bastard.
Yeah. All of which promote or host the artist's work. Last week when it joined the #MuteRKelly movement. It's all about a movement.
It's an internet movement, which is meaningless. There's no internet movement that can actually withstand anything because all I need to do is get a picture of someone who's
all you gotta do is Photoshop something. People will accept it and they'll fucking go hog wild. Hell, you don't even have to Photoshop. Just say something.
Well, you might have to Photoshop like your face into a woman's face.
Oh, that's easy. Just steal a woman's pic from a porn site. I've done it before.
Yes, but I think it would be more fun to actually have you try to look presentable.
You see, you got to go through the ancient porn sites, though. You know, the things that are now dead, and like the actresses are like a lot older and look nothing like that anymore.
And
no one will recognize it until they start doing image searches, and then by then the damage is done.
So long as the actress isn't on Twitter or whatever, because some of them older actresses still are.
Oh, yeah. It's always good to find the ones that died from overdose and shit. Because that way they're not going to defend themselves.
Yes, but some of them have family, unfortunately.
After all, who could argue with a policy that prohibits hate content? I could argue with that.
I could argue with that. It's subjective and let people listen to what they want to listen to. And it's subjective. I mean, what do I consider hate content? Anything directed against, I don't know, me, and even most of that I will take. If someone releases an album called I Want to Kill Elliot Lindenwood, I will buy that. I will send them money.
What qualifies as hate speech to me is someone saying you can't say that.
Or
that's hate speech, so there we go. That's about 95% of the people patrolling hate content now destroyed by their own thing. All you gotta do is vote me into office and I'll turn this all against them.
That would be interesting. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be voting for someone else next year.
Fuck you. Defined as content that expressly and principally promotes, advocates, or incites hatred or violence against a group or individual. So you can't hate Hitler anymore. Hitler's an individual.
Wait, stand up. It's time to rise. It's time for revenge. Opposition must die. Chaos, violence, revolution now. We are the real rock and roll underground. Yeah, G.G. Allen, you're banned. Well, of course he's banned. G.G. Allen was banned for everything.
Yeah, that's why he was cool.
Shoot, knife, strangle, beat, and crucify.
It's like, group or individual. based on characteristics including race, religion, gender identity, sex, ethnicity, nationality, sexual orientation, veteran status, or disability.
Someone please write, I hate Elliot Lindenwood, he's a stupid blind cunt. Write that. You know what? No, better yet, write a whole EP about how much you hate me. Just do
There
it. Come on. It could even be someone I like who doesn't hate me at all. Come on. Start writing. And I want that thing on Spotify.
Which would seemingly rule out several presidential campaign speeches. Yes, it would.
And Anal Trump, that shitty band that Travis the Dickhead Ryan from Cattle Decapitation started. Sorry, I hate Travis Ryan. Anyway, he wrote, he missed the point of Anal Cunt and wrote Anal Trump, which was, about Donald Trump.
Or declining to promote artists who engage in hateful conduct. Something that is especially harmful or hateful, for example, violence against children and sexual violence. Okay, so the guy who was in the homeless shelter with me had the living piss beat out of him by a bunch of underage kids. He didn't lift a finger to defend himself because he knew he'd get thrown in jail for defending himself against a group of fucking kids from the local projects that wanted to get their jollies off and prove they were hardcore by beating the shit out of a homeless man.
Yeah, that's...
So, if he would have rose up against them just to defend himself, yeah, okay, that's something that wouldn't be promoted. Fuck you.
And besides, killing children is fun.
And sexual violence, no one's heard of kink. Seriously, this is one of the many failures with polite society, because I don't like to talk about kink, but that's all I fucking see from... God, I don't even engage in these groups that much, and I just keep up my damn feed saying, I want to be choked. Please choke me. Choke me.
Most things like that are swept under the rug. I mean, because people can't... Well, you like this stuff? Oh my God.
Fuck, my one friend's always telling me about how much she likes to be like just treated like useless sack of tomatoes being kicked around.
You should come on this show. Had to.
What more suitable artist to target with such a move? Over the past 2 decades, Kelly has been accused multiple times of sexual misconduct against young and underage women.
Like every glam metal band ever, and Gene Simmons, and I think it was Jimmy Page. And
he reportedly married protege Aliyah when she was 15. That was later annulled. He was acquitted of child pornography charges in 2008, despite a video that the prosecution claims shows him having sex with and urinating on an underage woman.
Hey, he sounds like a lovely human being.
And he was recently accused of running an abusive sex cult. I want an abusive sex cult.
Okay, yes, me too. I saw that.
In which young women were essentially held prisoner and not allowed to eat or go to the bathroom for long periods of time. I know chicks into that.
Well, yeah, but that's the problem, R. You have to find someone willing to do this. You can't just pick people up off the street.
Yeah. These people were into it. Extenation stands accused of multiple felonies, including assaulting a pregnant woman and witness tampering.
You're pregnant, so I punched you in the stomach.
That's supposed to be like common in rap. Witness tampering.
I was fucking killing people since I was about 3 years old.
Mm-hmm. And what more effective statement of disapproval for Spotify than its playlists, which in recent years have become a coveted avenue of promotion for all artists, the most popular of which, Rap Caviar, from which Extenation's music was removed yesterday, is regularly cited as one of the most effective ways to break a hip-hop song.
That's sad. I mean, for all of you who use Spotify, I have a question for you. Do you like being spoon fed, you know, based on somebody else's collection? Because even if you don't go to the playlist, you're still listening to just someone else's collection.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own collection here. It's bigger than I care to count. I think it's got 220,000 songs or whatever, over a terabyte of music, according to this thing. So it's my own collection, and it grows every day. It's like some sort of evil organism.
The move represents a way for the company to flex its moral power by effectively shunning an artist without taking the bolder and far more problematic move of censoring them.
Moral powers activate.
As Spotify did last summer, white supremacist music that was promoted on its platform.
Iron Eagle flies again.
Sorry. I couldn't remember the damn lyrics after that. But I remember the tune so well. It's so fucking awesome. As anyone who's been paying attention knows, the announcement hasn't quite worked out the way Spotify may have hoped. Through a combination of apparent naivety and hubris and, put it mildly, clumsy messaging, the company has managed to do the near impossible. Get people to defend R. Kelly.
That is shocking.
Not near impossible. He just pissed on. He did things consensually. It's not like he forced people to do this. If they want to be degraded,
I've heard the sex cult wasn't consensual, though. That's the only thing that I have actually heard.
They also said that girl Big Pete on was technically underage, so
that was
how many chicks say I'm 18 or like 14?
He is, but that's not the point, though. It is actually kind of impossible because R. Kelly's not exactly very popular right now. I mean, yes, we know people who like that, but not everyone does.
This policy statement feels much too undefined. It raises more questions than answers. Charis Kubrin, a professor in the Department of Criminology, Law and Society at the University of California, Irvine. Wow. Someone from California. University of. Wow. Who has written extensively on whether rappers' lyrics can be used against them in a court of law. It should not. Because it's lyrics, they could just be shit talking. You don't know. You need actual forensics.
Yes,
lyrics are just hearsay.
Yes.
I mean, my God, in my lyrics, I've destroyed the human species 80 million times.
In my lyrics,
that's massive crimes against humanity. Should that be used against me?
Well, yes. And you know the answer is yes. Because
I am the god of drugs. Hail and praise the god of gods. Cyber death, our holy mother. So get high for our slaughter. Now you're coated in semen.
Alrighty then.
It was obviously led by R. Kelly, but it seems that as if they started with him rather than putting the policy in first place and then deciding who would be penalized. He's the poster child for this, and he hasn't been convicted of anything. I thought it was very vague. How do you define that as a policy? Says Lacia Brooks, outreach director of the Southern Poverty Law. Oh God, those fucking hate mongers.
Oh, God. Why are we even listening to that?
Why are we even quoting them?
I know.
Like, these people are so far off the charts for, like, hate everyone because everyone's a hate group.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
I'm
hearing them try to speak out against this is kind of ironic. I thought they'd be all for it.
Well, yeah. I'm all for hating everyone.
One of the groups with which Spotify is working to define hateful content. It is unfortunate that the announcement speaks to just hate when there are so many other concerns to be raised. They are trying to hold artists accountable, but who would ascertain what constitutes a credible accusation or hateful behavior?
I am hate.
It's dangerous and it has real implications. Wow, the Southern Poverty Law Center speaking out against themselves?
Yeah, they're weird.
The outcry was swift and furious, with multiple artists, executives, and fans lambasting the company for its vaguely defined policy. Spokespeople for the two artists were quick to reply as well. Kelly's rep provided an arguably technically accurate, if debatable, statement, noting the singer has never been accused of hate and the lyrics he writes express love and desire. Mr. Kelly, for 30 years, has sung songs about his love and passion for women.
Okay.
And so what if he did commit it? I mean, why not just let people listen to the music they want to listen to, regardless of what the person is? I mean, I love Burzum, and Varvik Hernandez is a Class A nut.
Yes.
Yes.
But, you can't enjoy anything unless it's been sanitized.
There
and
was
everyone
a guy,
has to be 100% moral all the time.
Do you remember when I think Marduk was getting canceled by Antifa, and I posted about it, and some guy from Antifa, or at least that's what he claimed, because for all I know, he could be like, Scott Troll. Well, actually, Scott's not creative enough. But anyway, it was a guy who claimed to be from Antifa, because I have all my Facebook posts public, so people can comment on it. And he commented, he tried to put up a defense, and he claimed that every time he listens to music, he has to vet the bands. And he said he said this with pride. He said this completely with pride. He said that he does this all. He vets all the bands that he listens to see if they have any reactionary beliefs. But we're talking Motorhead here. He doesn't listen to Motorhead because Lemmy created World War II. Lemmy had World War II memorabilia. So, these people are completely off the fucking radar here.
They're off the fucking plan. I don't even know if they know what the fuck's going on.
Like I said, he and it wasn't even a thing. Like Shane Mathis even said that he does that. So it's how miserable do you have to be? Like, I love this band, they're so amazing, but I can't listen to them because they're not even SPF right wing. It's like, fuck that. I'm not going to deprive myself of good music.
Yeah, fuck these people. Spotify has the right to promote whatever music it chooses, and in this case, its actions are without merit. X-Tenation's rep responded with a list of other prominent artists accused, but not all convicted, of serious offenses.
Well, that's true. Spotify does have the right to do what it wants to do, and it'll fail on that.
It'll probably go bankrupt soon.
Well, the interesting thing, Jim, is I was talking to a music insider about this, and he said that despite the fact that Spotify has like a huge skyscraper building where they're, a room in a skyscraper where they're paying like exorbitant rent, Spotify has never been in the red. They're still deeply, deeply, deeply in debt, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and they're never going to get out of it. At least not for another decade or so. And they keep and shooting themselves in the foot like this is not going to help them.
Right.
No.
It's one of those business things where you have to look flashy and big even though you're losing. It's the day I understand the business world, Jim, is the day I check myself into a nut house.
Meanwhile, I've seen people make millions just sitting in their mother's basement starting up a business.
Yep, but you
got to look big because, oh my God, let's take them seriously instead of just offering a service everyone uses. They automatically take you seriously because everyone's doing it.
Yeah, but it's welcome to the lame stream.
People suck. The vague nature of its criteria makes the enforcement of this policy, which the company has stated is the first step in an evolving process, subjective at best. The statement of policy is less than 400 words long and relies on generalities like, we want our editorial decisions, what we choose to program, to reflect our values. What are your values?
Well, the problem is,
if I were to buy out your company and have it run by neo-Nazis, would it then become Nazi values?
Which would be interesting considering how much he debated Nazis. But Spotify is, I mean, unless it's a hive mind, you have people with conflicting values. You might have some Republicans on your staff. You might have some Democrats. You might have some wacko fucking ultra libertarian who think that like everyone's out to get them because fucking we gotta go fucking militia on their asses and blow up the Oklahoma City building again.
Oh yay!
Which those people are fascinating.
Yes.
Yes, they are always fun. It also states no system of policy policing content or behavior beyond content monitoring, expert partners, and your help. The latter,
and viewers like you,
via an online form. Yay, and viewers like you. The company also says it has created a monitoring tool called Spotify Audio Watch.
Well, yeah,
to help
they
it
can't
screen
really
for and flag hate content. Well, here's what we should do. We should just go on Spotify and whatever the fuck is the biggest song, tell them that the artist is hateful. It says
Swine
your
Brothers
help,
ever gets big
and
enough,
we get like 500 people, or at least 500 different accounts to go to your help and start, flagging the thing as hateful. Then you pull down the popular music. Just keep doing that with every anything that turns up popular, boom, gone.
Yep. And it's sort of like
what happens after that.
It's sort of like the 2 minutes when Facebook had, does this post contain hate speech? Which they say was a mistake. I don't buy that, but
I think it's fucking hilarious that was on there. Because the first thing I did was go to every single politician I could find, every political office I could find, and say, "Oh, this post is hate speech. This is, you're just telling me what the fucking convictions were at the fucking courthouse. Hate speech."
A metalcore, the big guy posted in some generic metal group. I think I actually got him a 3-day ban because I said it contained hate speech. I think I banned him for 3 days. You know what? You'd think I'd be sorry, but I'm actually not.
I wouldn't be.
I got Mason banned once. That was awesome.
Jonathan Prince, Spotify's VP, head of content and marketplace policy, told Billboard, "When we look at a promotion, we look at issues around hateful conduct." Oh, God. Everything's hateful conduct.
You realize this show could qualify as hateful conduct.
This show's nothing but hateful conduct.
And
how many times do we issue death threats to each other on a near secondly basis? Like every second, boom, 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 boom.
Yes, and you realize that if you better hope that, well, any sort of like, well, we were going to hire you, but we see you on Swine Brothers.
Yes, this is why I have no future. But that's it.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
I have chose this life, and it is a good one.
Yes, we see we're gonna hire. See, Jim, you could at least claim you were just the co-host and you're doing it as like a favor to me. But I put my name out there on every damn episode, so I have no excuse.
I blame Jim.
And you don't even use your real name, so.
Yeah, well, it's easy enough to figure that out. All you have to do is just look it up.
Everyone blames me. I'm used to it. It's like whenever Jeff's parents said, "Look, someone stole the fucking Boy Scout money. And it was either you or Jimmy." And then Jeff said, "Well, it wasn't me." And thus I was banned from seeing him for over a year.
Oh, geez.
Even though he still snuck out and saw me, and we hung out, and we used the money he stole from Boy Scouts to buy candy.
Yay.
Where you have an artist or another creator who has done something off platform that is so particularly out of line with our values. Well, that's every breath someone takes that isn't completely into everything that you are.
Oh my god, I actually did a search for your name. Found you.
Told you.
Egregious in a way that it becomes something that we don't want to associate ourselves with. Aw, you sound like so many conservatives that I used to fucking shit on back in the 90s that were screaming, but I don't want to associate with these fucking punks and fucking metalheads and all these other men. You know, that sounds just like them when you're trying to do it on the lefty spin. Gotta love you, Tipper, goring it up.
Oh, yeah, there we go. And the funny thing is, like, I have to try to explain to right-wing people and, like, centrists about how because people hear that I'm to the left and they think I'm, like this. I have to explain that, like, back when I was growing up, people on the left that I was friends with would laugh at people like this because we all thought that they were the sort of the fucking kooks. They were the, the nut jobs. Yeah, they're, they'll never get into mainstream. Oh my god.
And then they got into fucking politics because guess who had the money?
Yeah, but I still laugh at them, and I still know how. I mean, that's one of the redeeming things about Chaz. At least he still laughs at people like this.
Mm-hmm. So we've decided that in some circumstances we may choose not to work with that artist or their content in the same way, to not program it, to not playlist it, to not do artist marketing campaigns with that artist.
Yes, and unfortunately, streaming is a huge thing for whatever fucking reason. I don't understand it. As people who say MP3s are impersonal, welcome to the world of streaming. At least I can take my MP3s with me without an internet connection. Anyway, streaming is a big thing, and so you're basically killing the artist.
And they're shooting themselves in both feet. Gotta love it. Transparency is good, but I'm not sure this is transparency, Kubrin says. They're not systemicizing the process. It seems all based on their own judgment.
I love that word.
Those calls.
That's a good word.
I love. You have been systemicized.
Yeah, that is a really good word.
You can call me the systemizer or systemizer.
What role are they playing? You have to roll something like this out so carefully, and they haven't done that. I wouldn't even roll something out like this. I'd be like, yeah, fuck it. Here. You like the music? Good. Here. Now pay for the fucking album. You can have it.
You have not been systemicized, Jim. We must hook you up to the systemicizer. Welcome to hell.
Systemicizer.
The first track on the I Hate Elliot Lindemood LP.
The systemicizer.
And then my cock weird up his nostril, and he had a huge gag.
Okay.
A spokesperson for Spotify told Variety that an internal committee makes those decisions. Ominous.
I was just following orders.
In consultation with the organizations listed in the policy announcement as helping to define hateful content, including the Southern Poverty Law Center, fucking group of bigots, Anti-Defamation League, completely lost their way, Color of Change, never heard of it, sounds like something online.
Yeah.
Showing up for racial justice.
Oh, showing up for so what that
sounds like a white power band. Oh god, I think that was a white power band from the 90s. God. I think it was. It was like some little rinky-dink band that never got anywhere, and like one of the Nazi guys I hung out with had it. Oh, fuck. Showing up for racial justice.
Okay, so Color of Change is like MoveOn.org, but for African American internet users. It was founded after Hurricane Katrina.
Oh, good thing it lost its way. Glad. Against drunk driving? No, that's 2 A's, not 2 D's. What the fuck? Muslim advocates and the International Network Against Cyber Hate. Oh, boy. I hope this kills your company totally. Like, you don't get anything from here on out. No one goes on. Just that last one, International Network Against Cyber Hate. Define cyber hate. Because I've heard people call cyber hate saying, I disagree with your point politely. That is cyber hate.
Yeah.
Like I said, just go on to that fucking Your Help thing and start reporting everything popular. The number one song on every fucking list, do it.
Yep.
Let them drown in their own filth. The rep added that in some cases the inquiry is escalated, but declined to provide further details or grant requests for interviews on the matter with company executives. I want so many policies like this to just see that you're going to shoot yourself in the foot the moment you do it. Spotify is taking on a difficult task in attempting to remove speech that promotes hate, which is pretty much 90% of everything on there.
I am hate. Hate. I am hate.
Says Nora Pellizzari of the National Coalition Against Censorship. People do not agree on the definition of the term. Some will believe Spotify has gone too far. Others will pressure it to go further. The inclusion of hateful conduct in the policy just adds another layer of subjectivity that undermines the policy's enforceability in any sort of equitable way. Who is the judge that, and should we insist on morally pure artists? Well, then you won't even have fucking kids songs.
Pure artists. I could tell you stories about the lamest soft cock bands you can think of, right? Like the bands who have no bite to the music. They sing songs about sugary love, and their party antics are legendary. I mean, you know, there are no moral. I mean, yeah, there's like straight edge artists or whatever, but even the really soft bands have, party stories.
Yeah, I know. How pure is pure enough? Well, there goes every politician in creation.
As pure as the Arctic snow. What? Oh.
Yeah. These are complicated questions that this policy doesn't seem to quite answer.
Quar is the answer.
You won't even be able to have kids' song on your network. Every single song on there is going to go down because you can't be morally pure ever.
You once said the word fuck.
And now you must pay for that as hateful conduct.
We must take your spine.
To keep the matter in perspective, the conversation is not really about censorship. Yes, it is. It totally is. You're just trying to make it happy because you're variety and you're for all these things. Just wait till they begin censoring you using the same arguments you're using here. It will happen. Trust me.
Yeah, and I will laugh so very, very hard.
The two artists' music remains available on the platform. Yes,
okay.
You have to
that
dig
is
for
true. Not very deep. I mean, but that is true. It still appears they haven't. Which I have seen some erroneous reports saying that they have canceled. I spent like 5 seconds on this, which is 5 seconds too much for artists I don't care about. But Yeah, it is still on there. They haven't like they banned like Saga and bands like that. I know because for a while there, I think it was 2 years ago or was it last? I don't know. I had my Spotify connected to my iTunes. I downloaded Spotify. I have no idea why, and it never showed Saga. Oddly enough, it would play her, but it just never showed that she existed.
Uh,
Saga, the Nazi woman.
yeah. God. These people just need to drown in their own shit.
Name is Sam. Sorry. Yes, drown in shit.
The music an artist, Spotify, and any other streaming platform promotes are its own choice, subject to its own criteria. That I agree
Well,
with.
that is true. Yes, and that's something I think. I think that's something Scott missed the point on. He gets it now, but back in like 2015, I think that was something that he was sort of meh about, and I had to sort of explain that it's their prerogative.
There is no First Amendment component directly associated with this matter. However, this is the first step. Just wait. The
Yeah,
American Civil Liberties Union declined Variety's request to comment.
which they do actually support like freedom of speech, and they'll side with whoever they can. I mean, they've sided with the ACLU has done cases for Christians and people who hate Christians. And the only person they didn't touch was Gigi Allen, oddly enough.
Hmm.
He
That's
claims they
sad.
called him and they hung up on him
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
because he's Gigi Allen. I'd defend him. I would
I
actually go to
was
law school to defend Gigi Allen.
in his grave.
Yes.
But the company's failure to anticipate the optics of its move. The first two artists penalized by the new policy are black men who stand accused but not convicted of serious crimes, has sent a shockingly bad message at a time when the largest music streaming company in the world, which went public on the New York Stock Exchange just weeks ago, needs at least. Oh, this is how you're spinning it. Okay.
See, I would spin it in a different way. These are two popular artists. I don't know about the other one, and I didn't think R. Kelly was still relevant, but I haven't. I don't. These are still popular artists. If you went after, say, Bound for Glory, yeah, I'd be pissed off. But A, no one would defend them because they have Nazi beliefs. B, no one would care. Or if you went after, say, even like a band like Marduk or Gorgoroth, which is huge in black metal circles, but let's let's go to like anywhere and ask if they know who Marduk or Gorgoroth is. I mean, even Dimmu Borgir, who's a huge band, is still relatively unknown. So even if they went after, them, but they're going after R. Kelly, they're going after huge bands with major labels and a lot of clout or artists, with a lot of clout. If they had gone after a small band, no one would give a shit.
Intentionally or not, it's really just rap and R&B that are being singled out. Ah, if that was only the
If
case.
that was only the case, uh, I know Infant Annihilator, a band that I loathe beyond loathing, was taken off Spotify about a year ago, I think, for violence.
Infant Annihilator. Do.
Shitty band, deathcore band, but like really fast deathcore.
What stereotypes are they relying on? How does race and gender come into it? We have to be completely intersectional now. Fuck. Yeah.
Remember when they wanted a colorblind society?
I remember
And
when everyone wanted that, and then like this came up.
I mean, and no one was saying you had to abandon your culture. Like no one was saying that you couldn't celebrate a rich African culture. They were just saying that you would be looked at as a human, not a black person or not a Mexican or whatever.
But now everything's about the color of your skin and not any other signifiers or culture or anything. It's all about the color of your skin.
Yes, and I'm a Nazi for saying otherwise. And I know I do this joke a lot, but that's why I'm being a pure white Aryan.
Oh God. We've done studies where we'll take the same set of violent lyrics and tell randomly selected people they're from different music genres, including country, folk, rap. When people think the lyrics are coming from rap, they're considered to be much more
Wait.
threatening.
Stop.
Rap's threatening? How
No,
the fuck is rap threatening?
no. That's
Dude,
that's not it. Country lyric. Yo, pop and pan, pop my bitches, popping them caps in the people's. I mean, rap lyrics still mesh well with country music. Slapping my hoes and eating. Hank Williams, Doggy Dog.
how the fuck is rap music threatening at all?
Because it's a guy ranting about killing people. I mean that I
Talking about killing people as opposed to actually describing the brain matter splattering across the wall.
I understand why people think rap is threatening. Okay, rather than country singing about "I shot my baby," uh, it's some guy. He's not singing. He's talking over a beat, sometimes quite aggressively, about how he'd like to, you know, get my fucking Tech Nine and fucking and people who have weak constitutions. Oh God, he's talking about this. He's going to do it.
Yeah, pussies.
Well, yeah, I'm not
This
saying
is
they
how
don't.
pussified the fucking culture's become if they think rap's threatening.
Well, yeah.
God. How
Well, it's been like that
pathetic are
since
you humans?
it's been like that since the '80s. Like I said, there's and I know this because I had grandparents, right? And grandparents are different. I know this because I have seen them react to rap, and they react differently to a guy talking about it rather than singing about it.
Meanwhile, who burnt down churches? That's all I'm going to
Yeah,
say.
I know. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I
But burning
understand.
down churches, that's always correct.
Let's
That's the
go.
best
I
answer of all.
suppose that the best thing about rap music is that they don't generally tend to kill other people than themselves, so they're just doing themselves in.
Oh no, they kill other people. I've seen like gang violence and
Usually.
drive-bys. It's fun. Those are the rappers I respect.
It's concerning whenever people try to police art. Yes, it should be concerning. It's a laudable goal. No, it isn't. It just needs to be more systematic.
No, it needs to
No,
be
it
tossed
doesn't.
away.
This needs chucked out as a bad footnote in a fucking piss poor culture that's gone boohoo, crybaby crazy.
Maybe we need someone like that. I was reading about a bomb that if it went off, it would like kill all electronic devices and shit. I
Yeah,
mean,
the electromagnetic pulse.
as much as I would hate that because I like the internet and things, maybe that's what this culture needs.
Hmm.
Maybe
We
what this
need World
culture
War III.
we need World War VI.
We need World War 932,695,343,092.
Oh my god! There stopped being anything left about a billion wars ago.
And we just keep having them. Why?
Why, God? Why?
Even at a glance, the inconsistencies in the policy are quickly apparent on a platform that includes music by at least one convicted murderer, Phil Spector.
Dude, really? Really? That's you're gonna feel fucking.
Another who married not just a 13-year-old girl, but one who was his first cousin, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yep.
You can't fucking have that pure thing.
Nope.
That music's just like pure as fucking pure could be, and you can't have them.
Oddly enough, Jimmy Swaggart, you know who Jimmy Swaggart is obviously.
Yeah.
Jimmy Swaggart, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Mickey Gilley were all cousins, and they used to commit burglaries together.
Another who is synonymous with spousal abuse, the late Ike Turner.
Well, yeah. I'm not touching that.
And a song with upwards of 70 million plays, Derek and the Dominoes' 1970 hit Layla, that was co-written by a man who has been in a mental institution for 35 years after murdering his mother, Jim Gordon. That's how you
What, the
defeat
fucking
the
cop
death
from
penalty.
Batman?
You go into the loony bin. What?
What, the cop from Batman?
Yes. The cop from Batman. You see that? That's where this whole entire superhero thing came out. Where he thought he saw Batman. He was just in a mental institution the whole time. That's why Arkham plays such a big thing, and why none of the villains die. They just go to Arkham because this is just all a psychotic delusion of Commissioner Gordon.
Yes. And that needs to be a comic. Somebody make that.
Shunning is nothing new in the age of #MeToo, which needs to die a violent death.
Violence.
And while visions of a tale of two titties occasionally pop up during these lightning-quick rushes to judgment, much of it is long overdue. And if it has inspired two disparate but related incidents that happened in the past 2 days, singer Jesse Reyes publicly accusing producer Detail of sexual abuse, and Representative Maxine Waters shouting down condescending mansplaining men on the floor of Congress. Fuck you both. Y'all need burned alive.
Mansplaining.
I mean, you're a politician. You need to be burned alive with the rest of Congress.
I know women who condescend.
What we should do is enact a constitutional amendment that states that gives a strict term limit for both senators and congressmen. And then at the end of your term, you are euthanized, because being a politician in the federal sphere is a terminal illness. You need to be put out of your misery.
Euthanasia. No, not euthanasia. What we do is we vote on the best method of execution.
That
and we make it into a 3-hour variety show. It's execution tonight. And also I have
some sort of Running Man theme.
Well, and also I know women who are condescending as hell. I know men who are but mansplaining, seriously. If you use the term mansplaining, you just please
euthanize yourself.
Please get in the way. Please come to this chainsaw.
Yes, get in the way of the chainsaw launcher. You were its first subject.
That was what made me think this guy's cool when he started talking about chainsaw launchers the first day we met.
Just think about it. I mean,
yeah, I know.
You send a fucking set of shock troops in. They make landfall. The enemy's shooting at them. They just buzz out like a million chainsaws from the chainsaw launchers.
Yeah, I know.
Then they retreat back on the boats and go away. And the enemy's just left there with the horror of dealing with the fact, what the fuck just happened?
I know. And you said that like the first, it was the first Metal Gate episode where I met you. And that's when I realized that maybe you were something interesting.
I mean, tell me that wouldn't make enemy troops shit their pants, and then you say, "There's more where that came from. Do you wish to continue?"
I surrender. I surrender.
This is how wasteful we are. We just hurl chainsaws at you. And we have worse weapons than this.
I think in the first Metal Gate, you even thought about intercontinental chainsaw launchers.
Yes, this is a move for the better. No, it's not.
You're sitting in your office.
Chainsaw launchers are a move for the better, not this shit.
Just the intercontinental chainsaw launchers. It'll activate when it's near. To give so you're just sitting in your office, all of a sudden, ring, ring, ring. Oh shit!
Well, it's like whenever we go to war with countries, I always thought it'd be great to take all the convicted pedophiles and fucking child molesters and fucking murderers and shit that like did things that were lame. People that were convicted, the DNA proves it, and all this other shit. We just hurl them into the bottom of a bomber, and then drop them over a country we're at war with. So we're sending them the most toxic people we have. If they live, trust me, those fuckers are going to be doing some really vile shit to these people. But more than likely, it's just going to be a huge ton of dead bodies that we're just shipping them. And we just keep flooding them with dead bodies until they give up.
And then we start with the intercontinental chainsaw launchers.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're sending them our own unwanted and all their corpses just to say, fuck you, you bury them. We don't want to bury them.
Yep, but...
you wanted dead Americans? Here you go. Plop. A bunch of dead Americans. We didn't want them anyway.
You're the president of the country. You're sitting in your office planning a war. But all of a sudden, from about 50 feet away... Jesus Christ, man!
But any attempt to systematize morality, particularly one as vaguely defined as Spotify, is a slippery slope. Wow, someone trying their best to defend this decision throughout this entire article, their spin, actually called it a slippery slope. I'm impressed. Are you starting to notice that you might be on, doing things that will destroy your own ability to speak soon? Nope, no, you're nowhere near there.
They're not. Give up hope.
I don't have any hope for that. I just like to mock them because they don't realize this is going to come back to bite them if they get everything they ask for. Yep. I'm guessing there are artists on Spotify's platform who have committed very serious crimes. The probability that R. Kelly is even in the top 5 of that list seems slim.
I haven't checked.
This is certainly not censorship, but it's a move in that direction. Yes, it is.
I have not checked Spotify's platform, but if they have any dissection, Emperor, Burzum, Mayhem's first album, yeah, there you
go. Good shit.
Disgusting.
Good.
I like doing that.
Dave Matthews thinks metalheads are uglier than his fans and they drink a lot. Good.
I like being ugly. I don't drink a lot anymore, but I used to.
I used to drink a lot.
It was fun, but
I used to start off my attic parties by pouring a half gallon of Vladimir vodka, which was like, the cheap fucking $10 for a half gallon variety.
Basically,
into a beer bong, that was made from like one of those gallon worth of fucking oil change funnels.
Yeah.
And just downed it in like under 10 seconds. Just an entire half gallon of vodka. And if I survived, party on. But then there was also the times I would go and they would have to carry me to my room.
We called the really cheap stuff unleaded because the joke was it was basically unleaded petrol. So yeah, we always called the cheap shit unleaded.
Celebrity metalheads come in all shapes and sizes from all walks of life, as we've documented over the years. At
God, I hate
metal protection.
Bill Burr thinks Meshuggah is cool. It's like I've never heard Bill Burr's material, but Meshuggah is not cool.
But never did I assume I would be including anthropomorphic patachuli plan Dave Matthews in this said category.
Yes,
no, I don't see him as a metalhead at all.
Well, the metalhead celebrity, which means, like I said, it's usually guy thinks Meshuggah is cool, or guy listens to metalcore, guy listens to Pantera. Basically, there are no metal. I mean, I'm waiting for if they say, guy listens to Archgoat, I might still hate his shit.
I remember this was a while ago whenever fucking the Kardashians were like wearing a Slayer shirt, then I think it was Tom Mariah came on with the Kill the Kardashian shirt.
And Kanye West wore a Testament shirt. When questioned, he admitted he didn't know who Testament was. The comedian Bill Burr, keeps getting interviewed about how he likes Michigan some Slayer. It's like, well, one of the royal family people likes municipal waste. It's like that's an insult. That any of the royal family likes metal. That basically means we have to go harder and heavier to get them to not like us.
Mhm.
But I mean, I'm waiting for famous guy likes Archgoat. It's like, yeah, you're shit, but hey, you have good taste in music.
Matthews is, of course, known for creating a brand of music that every frat bro who just discovered weed, seashell necklaces, and flip flops listens to. No,
I
this
have
is what
never heard.
this is the
I've
shit
never
that
heard.
every fucking chick that is all about love and happiness and nothing can ever hurt me and you fucking stop mansplaining. Yeah, the bitches that scream mansplaining about everything listen to.
I've never heard anything positive about the Dave Matthews Band ever. I mean, I knew a kid. Now he likes like Taylor fucking Swift, but back in the old days he liked whatever mainstream bands. But he hated the Dave Matthews Band. I remember that quite clearly. And I was like 4 or 5 years old. That's where it started.
This was played at frat parties specifically to get the girls' panties wet because they all loved it.
See, you guys, I find it funny. You guys, the shit you guys put up with like, and nothing else matters. For girls, we would play death metal, and either they ran away or a lot of them actually came up and said, "Hey, what's this music? I've never heard
Hey, at
anything."
college, it was a different place. I didn't run the parties there. My parties in my attic, everyone was forced to listen to death metal. Oh, God. Pardon me. There was this one guy who pissed us off. And my grandfather used to have these old hunting tapes that, were supposed to attract predators. And one was entitled Gray Fox Pup Cries. And I was just like,
that was the best
thing crying. Yeah. And I played it, and it was about, an hour and a half long. And me and my buddy played it, and we're headbanging to it, go, yeah, ooh, this is my favorite part. Yeah, we're and legitimately we were digging it. And the guy was starting to get more and more paranoid, and we told him if he left, he was going to be kneecapped. Even though neither of us had a firearm, we just set it to fucking make him shit his pants.
You told an abridged story when we interviewed Ryan from Intestinal Disgorge. That was probably our best episode. But I mean, like, I can remember hanging out with like glam rockers and hard rockers, not because I wanted to, but just that's where we were. And I put on Suffocation's first album, Effigy of the Forgotten, and a girl comes up to me and she's apparently dressed to the nines as like a glam chick 101, and she goes, I actually liked glam because I didn't think there was anything heavier. This is 2010, so you've got no excuse. But she's like, this is way heavier than anything I've ever heard. I lose touch with her. I meet her last year, and she's metalized as hell.
Oh, good. Turns out Dave enjoys good music, quote unquote.
Well, I'll be the judge of that.
A lot of people, you included, seem to have serious extra musical feelings about the Dave Matthews Band. How much hindrance is that? Yeah, it used to be if you like Nirvana, you can't like Dave Matthews Band. Nirvana. When have I ever heard that? Because most of the people that I knew that were really big into Nirvana, to the point where they threatened to kill Weird Al for being given permission by Mr. Shotgun Eater to parody his song. They threatened to kill Weird Al over this. Also love Dave Matthews Band. Fucking morons.
I'm gonna do a cover of Kurt Cobain's best song. It's the Kurt Cobain Shotgun Comedy Hour. To
the theme of Duck Hunt. And then after he blows his own head off, you got the dog coming up going, wee.
Someone animate that now.
if you like Pearl Jam, you can't like the Dave Matthews Band. That's funny.
Fuck
Everyone
Pearl
that
Jam.
loved Pearl Jam fucking was into Dave Matthews.
I regret sharing this.
But if I can like all those bands as much as I do, then why can't someone else? I guess we all have our tribe, and you're not supposed to be in more than one. God, you're a moron. Your ideas are just as moronic as your music.
Yes, I listen to what I listen to. It just happens to 99% of it's metal, but then I have some like weird pop and folk and
And good music, yeah. I love some country music because there's some great country music. No, there's not. It all makes me want to go on a homicidal spree to
well,
purge it out of my brain.
I'll defend the outlaw country stuff.
Okay, that stuff. I'm talking about pop country, which we know he's talking about. He's not digging.
I've fucking slit people's throats, and that's good.
I love some heavy metal because there's great heavy metal music. I bet you like core.
Yes.
Someone is going to have brilliance inside whatever box they're in. What box?
What? Yeah. What? Huh?
I listen to metal. I listen to classical. I listen to decent variety. I listen to some shit that would probably blow people's brains. Fuck, I listen to Lords of Acid.
I listen to like, if it's good, I have bands that are fucking all female power pop, which Jim probably laughs at. But damn, they can write good songs.
Yeah, you get that shit.
I listen to flower metal, which Jim laughs at, but they write good melodic songs. I listen to medieval folk. I have fucking Richie Blackmore's fucking medieval band. I hate Deep Purple. Actually, I don't hate them. I just don't like them. But I have his medieval shit. But I also listen to a lot of death, black thrash.
The brilliance is what I look for. There's great every kind of music, and just like there's great every kind of liquor.
Okay. Except I can't drink tequila anymore. That has shot me fucking to the.
As Metal Sucks points out, oh, you're citing Metal Sucks. God.
Oh yeah, they're partner websites. See, I could get away with clicking on this site because I have like ad blockers, and if you click on things with ad blockers, it screams at you, "Don't do this! You're a prick."
The metal he seems to like is more on the entry level side, like Metallica. Okay, is this during their actual metal years, or is it during their fucking I wish they would have died whenever Cliff died years? AC/DC, which is not metal.
Not metal. I mean, I'm not going to say they're a bad band. I don't like them, but they're good for what they are, hard rock, but they're not metal.
Yeah, they're not metal. And Guns N' Roses.
Which is not metal, and I won't even claim they're good for what they are. They're fucking horrible.
But who are we to judge? An aggressive riff is an aggressive riff, unless it sucks.
Unless it sucks. I mean, I don't know how you feel about AC/DC. They just never did anything for me. I mean, there
was this one AC/DC cover band that like played it in like bluegrass kind of Hicks style that actually did really better than AC/DC did.
I'll say they're good for hard rock, but they just never did anything for me. Like they just, I don't know, just meh, just so basic. I like Accept a lot better. You got your balls to the wow. And Guns N' Roses, I've never liked.
Oh God. But perhaps this is where Dave loses me. Given what you've said about drinking, is it all weird to spend your summers getting up in front of crowds where you know a bunch of people are absolutely loaded?
What? That's a stupid question.
There's probably not as much drinking at our shows as there are at heavy metal shows. And our crowds are probably better looking. But yeah, you see the most hammered people in the world from front of the stage. There's a lot of revelry around me. I've reined a lot of mine in over the years, pussy.
Well, yeah, but you've reined a lot of yours in over the years. What are you talking about? You don't drink as much as you used to. I don't drink as much as I used to.
Yeah, but if I kept drinking as much as I used to, I'd be dead 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's a natural fact of growing up. You do rein a lot of your revelry and stuff in, but well, yeah, metalheads are. I mean, not all metalhead. I know metalhead girls who can fucking gives pop chicks a run for their fucking looks. But I also know people like me who are not the best looking people in the world.
Well, he's not exactly wrong, but how dare he? I have to retort this with, like, well, he's not wrong at all, and it's a good thing.
Why do you want people to like you?
Yeah, why do you want people to fucking be outraged over this? You want to fucking be there and say fuck you and get
Good. Think
one's
we're
face
ugly.
and actually challenge ideas instead of going along the mainstream. But this is metal injection, so we know they have to be
I
the
want you
mainstream.
to not like me. If you liked me, I'd probably. Ugh,
Yeah. Oh God.
it's pathetic.
We only fall in love with 3 people in our lifetime, each for one specific reason.
I've only fallen in love with one, and I mean, I've had other relationships, but this is such a strong thing. It's sort of like, and I'm sure you felt the same thing, where it's like you think you're in love, and then finally you meet someone, and you're like, oh, this is what it feels like. Oh, I was a fucking idiot the other times.
Yeah, and the other times it was like this fucking, ooh, I was swept off my feet. But it's like always better whenever you actually grow into it. And it's like, ah, yes, this is a good thing.
But this time it's like, honestly, I can actually spend.
That's why I almost proposed to Danamund there. The only
Mm,
thing holding me back is the fact she's married.
yeah.
Well, I've thought I was in love before, and it was a strong feeling. And now with Joe's, it's so much more of a you know definite thing rather than just, oh yeah, swept off my feet.
There is only one happiness in this life:
It's
to
just 4
crush your
simultaneous
enemies and see
days.
them driven before you and hear the lamentations of their women.
Sodomize the weak.
Yes. To sodomize the weak, that is the only joy.
Thank
Most
you.
of the
And get well, Martin Witchskinner, singer of Blood. He had an accident, and I guess he's recovering.
Most of the people do not get to fall in love with the right one from the beginning itself.
Oh, it took me years, but it happened.
Philosophers and mystics for many centuries spoke about 3 types of love we might experience in our lifetime: the one that makes us do stupid things, the one that break us and make us, and the one that does not need a special reason.
Okay, do stupid things. In high school, a girl I had a slight thing for asked if she could put lipstick on my face publicly. And I said yes. And everyone thought it was because I had a thing for the girl. In reality, it was because I thought, oh, that would be kind of stupid, right? You know, getting lipstick in class, no less. So I did it. I wish someone had pictures of it. That is such a legendary story because everyone thought it was because, oh, you're trying to do stupid things to impress a girl. Oh no, I just thought it would be funny.
Hey, stupid things to impress a girl, like attempting to knife myself to impress her.
Oh,
That
oh,
happened.
story.
Oh god, this is pathetic. It was fucking Bob's sister of all people. God, I don't even know what the hell possessed me to do it. But I was sitting there trying to impress her by trying to knife myself, and both Bob and John were like trying to wrestle the knife out of my hands. Like, no, I gotta fucking cut myself to prove I really dig her. Blah 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 blah. And this was before I started doing drugs. This was before I started doing drugs.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't go on anymore. You've lost me. Just that is so pathetic.
Yes, it is pathetic, isn't it?
Kind of the point, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I was young and dumb. What did you expect? Something hardcore throughout my entire life? God, how many moments of me being the lowest form of pathetic have I shared on this show and not cared?
True. And how many reasons have I done it? At least that time I did it because I knew it would be hilarious. Like blind kid. And apparently, one of my friends was like really mad that she was doing it until she realized that I was enjoying it. But yeah, put lipstick on the blind kid. I've never done stupid things to impress a girl, other than lie about what I actually believed. But then again, I was like 17, so whatever.
Number one, the first love. The heart wants what it wants.
Apparently, what it wanted was an overweight girl who wasn't too bright. Because that was my first date.
Oh, God.
I mean, she was hot, but not the brightest tool.
The first chick I dated, oh, God. I was about like 7, 8 years old. God.
See,
and she had a twin sister, and they would always fuck me up, pretending to be each other. So that fucked me up because I didn't quite notice they had different voices.
Okay, before we continue, I have to tell this story. I know two identical fucking twins. Okay, they say they can't happen. It happened. Their voices are a little bit different, but the best thing is they're accomplished impressionists, so they can do each other's voice. And they usually dress very similarly, not to do the whole twin thing, but just they like the same things. Like they're so apparently even sometimes they're fucking like family can't tell them apart, and they have a great time to try to fuck over people. But yes,
well, the reason we started dating was because we were riding the fucking wagon, like the little kid wagon, down the hill. Me and Bob and the two girls, and while we were riding, we were all supposed to jump out, but one of the girls was too scared, so I ran in front of the thing. And instead of trying to pull on the thing to stop it, I throw myself under it so it runs me over and I grab it from behind to stop it before it slams into the wall.
Okay.
And like she was so impressed, like, oh my God, you saved me. I don't know. I probably didn't. What happened with some scrapes. But whatever. That's hindsight saying that. I was fucking 7 years old. I probably thought I was playing the hero.
The first I had like a non-existent girlfriend when I was like 6, but the first girl I actually was semi-serious with was when I was 17. Well, unless you count the jailbait, which.
I mean, the first girl I French kissed was from the Greensburg Partial Program. Half-day psychiatric counseling, half-day schoolwork.
Yes,
and we had our kiss in the back of first time we kissed was behind it's literally a fucking gutter that the retention wall to hold up like all the dirt and shit on the level above, and the wall to the place itself. There's this it was a gutter pretty much, and that's where we kissed. And then we kissed again in raw sewage because we went around the fucking Elliott Company crap creek.
I've heard of gutter romance, but this is ridiculous.
This is before I even went full gutter. It was just because, oh my God, it's so taboo. Because, parents and shit, and, everyone's judgmental and shit. But
other than Allison and the puke days, the first sort of non-legal girlfriend I had was probably Jessica in 2012 and part of 2013. And that's a whole nother freaking can of worms. And I will one day tell you this story when I'm less ashamed.
Now, one of the girls, the first girl I actually proposed marriage to, was also from the Greensburg Partial Program. I get all the nutcases.
Yes, you're. If you don't know, he met his
ex-wife in a yeah. So tell me again why that would be abnormal. Oh yeah, it's not a wise decision. I advise against meeting your spouse. I
didn't know about all this until just now. when you told me that you met her in the loony bin, that was my first thought. Was like, well, no shit, Jim.
Yeah, but I grew up in the mental health
Yeah,
system. I
yeah.
dated many chicks while I was institutional. Like, fucking, I dated one in a Western Psychiatric. Okay, that was a place in Pittsburgh whenever they had a children's unit. And I only dated her for a month before I was transferred to, I was there for 3 months, but I only dated her for a month. And what broke us up was the fact that I was transferred to Mayview State Mental Facility back when they had a children's unit. And there I dated two different chicks. And we both broke up, one because she left, and the other one because I left. And then I started dating chicks, two separate chicks at the fucking Greensburg partial program. Yet again, more counseling. So tell me again why me meeting my ex-wife in a loony bin, I would have thought that was a bad idea if most of the chicks I dated were from loony bins.
I'd like to
Well, not
quote.
most, but enough of them.
I'd like to quote a review of the show. Yeah, the which is basically you two provided you two have lived lives so that us normal people can hear stories.
Yes. Oh God. And the funny thing was the first chick I proposed marriage to, like she ended up getting banned from the one mall that we could hang out at because she tried shoplifting and got busted. I got banned from the other mall we can hang out with because I got busted for shoplifting. No, wait. No, that was before I got busted for shoplifting. No, she was the one banned from Greengate for shoplifting. I was at the time banned from Westmoreland because I was hanging out with Bob whenever he decided to use one of the emergency phones in the fucking plaza to try to call Best Western to make reservations, just to make reservations to piss him off. And
So was
it was a
Bob
prank call essentially,
was
and like
Bob as
we got.
stupid as my was the Bob I knew who would do stupid things if you asked him to, and just
No, he wasn't like that. He just had his own brand of stupidity because he was the pretty boy of the group.
and he was a crackhead, and it was funny because he would show up.
That is funny you said that your Bob was a crackhead because I remember like we were on break from college and we're hanging out with Bob's parents, like his mother and his stepfather, because his actual father and his stepmother were like, just drinkers. His mother and stepfather were like partiers. And like I'm showing them the wonders of the gravity bong. And Bob starts talking, saying, "Oh my God, I just smoked crack. It's like the bomb, blah, 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 blah. I smoked crack. Blah, it's great." So, like, whenever he comes back to campus, I found out because our password was our birth date before it gets reset, before you change it, So I logged into his Vax account and set it up so that it would log in his prompt to say, "I smoke crack."
Eh. Before we continue, I was trying to say, so he would show up to the hangout. Hey guys, my teeth fell out this morning, and we were like, "Yeah, it's because you're on drugs, stupid." And his sister's like, "Do you think Bob's on drugs?" And Puke was like, "No," and I was like, I decided because she was always nice to us, and she like covered for us. She was like she was one of the cool, goody goodies. So I was like, yeah. So see, if you're actually nice, I'll be nice back.
Well,
Puke
anyways,
was just a
since me,
sarcastic asshole.
me and the girl were both that I would propose to were both banned from each of the malls we could have hung out at. I remember I trudged up one wintry day in the snow to leave a little poem, which was just it was a passage from, I believe, the Song of Solomon from the Bible, because she was a Bible chick. This is long before I got into metal and shit.
Yeah, I try to do that.
I typed it out and signed it with my name and thought it was all romantic and shit, and I just put it in her mailbox and left. And then, like, I found out a couple weeks later she started dating this other guy that was in the partial program. And this was about the time I started dating someone else, which I was the first chick I ever made out with.
I tried doing the Bible thing with the chick, so yeah, you're not alone with that. Unfortunately, I realized that like this wasn't going to work when like Satan.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue. We've strayed off topic.
We haven't heard anything from Danamon that was embarrassing, but there might be reasons.
I was trying to think of one, but best I could think about is I met a dude when I was 14, and then 5 years later I moved him from Pennsylvania to Kentucky. That's why I'm in Pennsylvania now.
Well, there you go.
But
and now he's on the Megan's Law list now too, so no big surprise there.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
Yes. Meet the real me. We normally experience this kind of love during a very young age, usually in high school or in a loony bin, as was mine.
Yeah, but like I said, I never did something like expressly to impress a girl. The lipstick thing was and even if I had no feelings for her, and it was just a small little thing. It wasn't like, it was just, oh, she's cute and she's nice. But she was like, hey, can I put lipstick on? He was like, put lipstick on me in a public classroom in front of class. Okay.
It was funny. And the one word, I think it was Unit 3, because Unit 4 was the rec hall where everyone used it for gym class. But the one chick there was a complete nymphomaniac, and she dated every other guy there but me. But I ended up dating 2 separate chicks in that ward. So,
yeah. So
it was always great for couples skating whenever we went out on the fucking activities.
Yes.
And this is the kind of love we see in fairy tales and Hollywood movies. In mental institutions.
Apparently.
The lovers will have
me. Although I did try to impress Allison by being Mr. Hardcore, and Allison literally dashed everything by going, "Shut the fuck up. Just don't."
The lovers will have high expectations about their relationships and believe they will end up getting married and live in a beautiful house happily ever after.
I never freaking wanted marriage until about 3 months ago.
See,
my mom always told me when I was growing up that you shouldn't marry somebody unless you're going to be like with them forever. That they're your best friend. You can't imagine living without them. It has nothing to do with having sex or having children or making a life together. It's just about being with your best friend forever.
Yeah,
so that's actual good advice.
Yes, and you
that's why I married. So
you told me that, and I did some soul searching, and I figured out that that's how I feel. Yeah. But I was very anti-marriage for a while for no good reason.
Well, I never could see myself getting married when I was a kid, but now that I'm an adult, I'm like, well, thank God I did because I like it.
I don't know, about 3 months ago, I started thinking of it, and I was like, wait, is Elliot Lindenwood actually having these thoughts? Slow the fuck down. Hold the phone. I mean, and it's not going to happen for another 2 or 3 years. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Back when I was a kid, I wanted to have, a decent job that I went to college for, but it was a completely undefined job other than science.
For science.
And fucking, and I wanted to be married and have 4 kids, 2 sets of twins.
Okay.
2 boys and 2 girls.
I mean, I never knew what I wanted except for I was like, yeah, marriage and tying it down and all that. But like I said, about 3 months ago, I always just randomly, because I'll get in a weird train of thought if I'm not doing anything, especially if I'm laying in bed. It's funny because I have been in bed and people thought I was asleep when they came in I was literally in bed for 4.5 hours just thinking about random things. And
Oh,
all
I
of a
do that all the time.
marriage
See-
came up, and I was like, wait, what?
See, I will be fair and say that I married for all the wrong reasons. But I was also told you had the fun of making it, you have the fun of raising it. So, I had to do something to be part of the kid's life, and now I'm not because fuck the government.
But yes, Danimon, you were right about your advice, and like I
That
said,
is the best advice.
That's what my mom told me.
yeah, and that's what everyone said. And I mean, I had to do some serious thinking about it, and finally I came to the conclusion, and yeah,
This love is very dramatic and incredibly romantic. Throwing myself under a wagon,
I think it's
trying to carve
shallow, but
myself up to impress them.
I think it's shallow trying to do stupid things to impress them. I mean, okay, here,
And let's not forget all the times I shoplifted gifts and filled out credit card applications
but
to
who
get the
hasn't done that?
free prize so I could give them stuffed animals and
But
trinkets.
okay, so let's so with Judy, because she was my last one before Joe's, last one that I count at least. I tried to be Mr. Good Guy when I first met her, and tried to be, oh yeah, I'm nice, and blah blah blah. But Joe's was like, yes, I can be nice, but I also like death metal and Satan and blah blah blah. And she's like, okay, cool. I was like, oh, see, that should. Why didn't I just do that to begin with?
Yeah.
Show them my true self, and fucking that's actually built a lasting relationship.
See, I show them the sugar-coated version, and then through texting, I start showing them the true, crude form. So, like, first I got to get to talk with them. Then once they see the true form, which usually only takes about, a week's worth of messages if we message at least once a day, then they can start deciding whether they want it.
Oh no, I showed Joe's. I mean, I'm not always rabid all the time. I can actually be quite nice. Jim doesn't know that because Jim doesn't exist. He's an imaginary friend, people. But I can actually be quite nice. And so with her, it was like, I wasn't trying to be Mr. Hardcore, but I was like, yes, I could be quite caustic and blah blah blah. But I could also listen, and so I listened to her, and that's when shit developed.
Therefore, we would do anything in our power to make it last as long as possible. Now, remember when I was talking about the first chick I ever made out with? Like,
Yes.
when I was busted attempting to dry hump her by my parents, and like they banned me from ever seeing her again. So I threw my Nintendo Entertainment System out the window, screaming, "I'll destroy all my shit if you don't let me see her!" And my parents didn't care.
Well, yeah. I mean, and
But,
Joseph,
I was trying to do anything, but I was fucking young and dumb, and just got out of the partial program.
It hasn't been always happy. We've actually sort of broken up.
It shouldn't be happy like all the time completely. I'm not even happy with the things that my husband does.
Well, we've actually sort of broken up about 3 times for various idiotic reasons, but we always keep coming back together. And it's not a shallow back together. It's just like,
we were both stupid, and now we're not.
Yes. I mean, it's. See,
we got into a fucking argument, which happens all the time when you're in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't share one mind.
Well, it's funny because I refrain from telling people a lot of this because they're like, "Oh, if you guys keep like arguing, breaking up, why don't you just?" It's like you don't get it. We start missing each other. I mean, it hasn't happened for a long time, and it's probably not going to happen. At least not the breaking up part.
Big fights are going to happen.
If you love her, destroy her. Okay.
and if you love him, destroy him.
I guess I'm just gonna have to shank you more often, Jim.
It's funny the stupid shit we.
It'll be like the Tonberry just going. Poop.
Yeah, well, I do have the knife already.
Yeah.
Jim, did you see what Danimon wrote on her thing? She wants to.
Oh yes, I'm going to carve Elliot's name into Jim.
I do not know why.
It's something to do, man. It's just something to do.
And all I said was, "This is fucked up." Yes. But
This
I
is how
mean,
screwed up the conversations go here.
I was working on writing and stuff, and I was thinking about ways that I could, screw people up with my one psychotic female character that Jim loves so much. You remember Jim.
Yeah.
So
I forget the name. I just know that she always goes off
Mara.
on and gets maimed.
Yes, her name is Mara.
seriously though, I think that's sort of
Oh,
part
fuck. Mara? Really?
Yes, it literally
M-A-U-R-A.
Mara. It literally means death.
But I think that's part
Because
of.
she was a friend from college named Mara, and we ended up being friends with benefits for a few weeks before, like, she lost contact with me or I lost contact with her, because it could have gone either way because I was getting more into drugs at the time.
But I think it's part of any sort of thing where you have to test your relationship, and if there's a few breakups or whatever, and you guys get back together, I think that's something that is very healthy for a building relationship. Basically, have stupid arguments. I mean, I'm not saying I
I
try
don't
to
think
have
you're not
them,
you're not the first person who has ever stopped talking to their significant
Hey,
other.
well,
just because.
exactly. But I also think it's great that it happened because you get to test.
It illustrated a problem and you fixed it.
Yes, and then we laugh about it, and
Mhm.
we call each other. You were such an
That's
idiot.
how it
Yes,
works. That's how it grows.
and then we threatened to kill Jim.
Of course.
Yes, everyone threatens to kill me. Good.
Life wouldn't be fun if we couldn't threaten Jim. I mean,
Dan, there's going to be a 3-way battle to kill Jim.
oh, I don't want to kill him. I just want to maim him.
Okay, 2-way battle.
I like threatening to kill him though because that's just fun.
Okay, fine. You maim him, we'll kill him.
Okay.
Then it comes to a stage where our own principles get unimportant because we somehow want the relationship to work and think that's how true love is supposed to be.
Try to be a
Or in my case, because she was lording the children over me, saying that I would never see them again if I ever, ever, ever stepped out of line and actually, had friends aside from her. Which, yeah, I think that explains why I never get to see my kids now.
I tried to be a fucking Christian. Like, I wasn't trying, but she was a super Christian, and I wanted to actually know what the hell she was talking about. So I read the Bible, and I didn't tell her this, but it was like the complete opposite effect. I became so much more anti-Christian. It's like, yeah, this isn't meant for me, buddy.
The second love. We are shaped and fashioned by who we love. Kind of like my ex-wife, except it was a cautionary tale in everything I should never be. I should have never sold out. I should have never done half the things I did in that relationship because I'm just trying to make her happy. No, I should have just kept trying to live my life my own way.
Let me live my life my way. Gotta go.
So, that was like, it did shape and fashion me being in love with her, just not her doing the fashioning, just me realizing that I should have never done any of that shit.
I think this is.
Yeah, but you can't regret it because it did make you into who you are.
I don't regret it, but at the same time, yeah, it was just a cautionary tale.
I think this has shaped me in the way that I've sort of become a hell of a lot more confident in myself than I was before. Like I'm sort of in the works of getting a few very high profile interviews that I don't think I would have approached if we were just starting this show, because I'm sort of mad, that was sort of at the beginning of my what I call my awakening. Long story, and I was sort of shy, but now I'm just like, fuck it, let's ask anyone if they want to come on this show.
You see, we just sort of find each other as kindred spirits here in the filth and disgust which is humanity.
Yes, and it's been a fucking weird ride.
When compared to the first kind, this is a much harder kind of love we experience. This love will force us to understand who we are as individuals.
Yes, but it's so much more satisfying.
and get brainwashed into a 12 steps according to Jesus cult.
I mean, once she basically laid bare who I was, it was like, oh yeah, I am that, and wow, you know me better than I do, and
I
that
mean, that was the most fucked up thing. Whenever I woke up in the midst of it, I was giving sermons and shit some mornings and nights and shit. And my sermons were always like bashing the false teachers and all this shit. And the false teachers are the ones that used it to motivate for war because I was going along the hippie lines of Jesus. Intolerance and all that shit, Those are the false teachers preaching intolerance where we should just, love one another and love thy enemies and shit.
yay.
I woke up the one morning and said, I need some acid. And it was at that moment I looked at myself in the mirror and said, wait a minute. Even back whenever I ate acid on a near daily basis, I never once actually felt a need for it. I said I wanted it. It would be nice. That would be cool. But I could always pass it up if I had other things to do. What made me want it now, which me taking it while I was in that shelter would have thrown me out, so I would have been in a dangerous spot. What made me actually feel a physical need for something that isn't even physically addictive?
Yeah.
And it came down to the fact, oh, wait, the first 3 steps, you want it, but you can't have it. That's what happened. So I went and moved in with this one chick who was, oh my God, a complete mess. And she had kids and shit, and she chewed me out because I tried playing video games whenever her son wanted to play video games. Whenever he had 6 different, like, fucking Game Boys, but he always wanted the one I was playing whenever he tried to, whenever he had other ones he could have used, and he wanted to play a different game, but it was just fucked up. So then she
You
booted
were an
me
only
out.
child, right, Jim?
No, I had a sister.
Oh, I was gonna say, welcome to the wonderful world of siblings. I know that feeling. Oh,
Yeah, I've got
well,
2 sisters and a brother myself.
But
yeah.
she booted me out, and I ended up moving up with the guy who, about a year later, started like filming some chick in the shower. So I left there and went to live with my sister.
Yeah, that would be yeah. Oh yeah, I
But
forgot
during
you
this
had
whole entire period of time, I'm doing a lot of soul searching, breaking myself down, trying to say, okay, now what the fuck was altered here by all this, and what the fuck parts of me were altered by my ex-wife, and what parts should I keep? What should I dismiss? What should I fucking do to refine who the fuck I am? Because I was so certain years ago, and even though I was a fucking kid then, and it took quite a few years of deprogramming, soul searching, introspection to actually refigure out who the hell I was as an individual.
I mean, what you've seen
I
from
came
2015,
anywhere near where I am now.
for what you've seen from 2015 to now is sort of me becoming who I was and am. Because in 2015, I had just woken up for 3 years of darkness where basically I tried to go straight and then I tried to not go, just awful. 2015 was definitely an awakening, but what you've seen is a sort of transformation. I'm a hell of a lot more confident, and I've sort of come to a conclusion that I actually sort of like who I am mentally now, which is a fucking revelation.
Oh, yes, I actually got real comfortable with who the fuck I am. I love it.
I mean, I'm still growing, and you're always growing, and
the moment you sit there and you stop entertaining any new ideas, even if you ultimately disagree with them, and so long as you entertain them, then you're always going to be evolving, shaping yourself, and of course growing your intellect.
The biggest mistake you can make is stalling out, is intellectually stagnating.
Just blindly saying everything's racist or everything's a fucking Zionist plot.
Or refusing to believe in anything that you don't currently believe in.
Just blindly saying, I'm fine with the way I am now. I'm not going to change it. Because it'll happen whether you like it or not. I didn't. Fuck. it wasn't even a conscious thing. The whole marriage thinking about thing, it was not a conscious thing. It wasn't like it's just it happened. I had a brain thought, and it was just like, wait, what?
It's like whenever I tell people life is struggle, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're so masochistic," and blah blah blah, and
Life
blah
is
blah
struggle
blah.
sounds like a
It's like,
shitty New York hardcore song.
oh God, no. Life is struggle means there's always something around to push you back.
Yep.
So you have to stand up and face it, and it
But
doesn't
through
have to be
challenge,
some
we
sort of
gain,
physical thing. It's usually
Yeah.
mental,
and
or
through challenges, we gain personality, and we become stronger as a person.
And I'm glad
and
I
sitting
have.
there not wanting any of that is just a sign that you're going to stagnate and die off, and hopefully before you have any children, because you don't deserve to reproduce because you did not evolve.
And I'm glad I have a couple people that I can, tell shit to, and they won't just go, "Oh, poor you." They'll either go, "Yeah, that's fucked up," or "Oh, stop being a baby."
Mm-hmm. Who our partners are, and where we want to go in life. As much as we are much grown in age and have matured, this love, God, this is horrible English. I'm trying to make it sound right. This love will make us understand what kind of person we want to live the rest of our life with. Yay. Misanthropes and psychos. Oh my.
I finally understand. I mean, and the funny thing is, I always said I wanted a fucking metalhead chick, and I didn't want a Christian. Oh, luck! You have fucking just made me look like a complete idiot.
We will experience manipulations, lies, deceit, and will get hurt more often by our partners. Ah, the ex-wife.
I love
There's
that
a few
though.
others, but none like the ex-wife. I have to thank her for creating me.
I have to thank you and your ex for breaking up on Swine Brothers chat.
Oh yeah, that was great.
I remember. I think you broke up with her in April, I think, and I remember that's when you took a break from the show, which was really inconvenient. Yes, he's the king of bad timing. Anyway, I came home from Long Beach to see 90 messages, and I actually read all through them. It just, oh God, if you could have heard my laughter.
It must have been a sight to behold.
I imagine a high-pitched cackle.
Yes, it was awesome.
As a result, breakups may follow. Oh yes.
Yeah, and she's the only person I've ever broken up with and gotten back together with. I've never done that with anyone because it was always, a clean break. But it was the first time,
We
I
may
have a friend
forgive.
that I've done that with, but that's not like any actual kind of relationship.
Oh.
We may forgive and make up again and again until we give up on the relationship entirely in the end.
Yeah, I mean, relationships are complicated. There's no easy thing, You're going to have trials and tribulations, and you may think that it's the end, and then you see yourself 2 years later with her again, and you're happy as hell, and you're like, wait, what the fuck?
This end loves with a heartbreak and tears and the inability to see your children for decades. But we become stronger. We learn more about what makes us a person worthy of our trust and heart.
I'm fucking resilient, persistent, and confident. That's what I am. And if you don't like that, then fuck off.
Ah, yes, the sledgehammer to the face.
Sledgehammer to the face. Sledgehammer to the face.
I want to be your sledgehammer. Whap!
I want to be your sledgehammer.
Back whenever that song was popular and I heard it all the time, this is even before I got into metal. I was just sitting there thinking it'd be really awesome if this song was about like just taking a sledgehammer to someone's face and guts.
Yes.
Remember, I was in the fucking partial program when that was big.
Good.
mental institution.
Yeah, he's insane.
hmm The third and final love. I want all of you, your flaws, your mistakes, and your imperfections.
Well, yeah, I never wanted her. I mean, I never. I mean, that's the thing is like, uh, it was the first time. It's like we make fun of our flaws. You know, I'm fat and you know, somewhat sadistic and sort of narcissistic.
Uh, by this time, we no longer expect love to be a fairy tale.
But I never expected love to be a fucking fairy tale.
Maybe back with those girls I was talking about when I was 7, the
Okay,
twins.
okay, yeah. When
Maybe
I was
then.
6 or 7, yeah, fine. But even
But
when
I
I
was
started,
in a loony bin. There was no fairy
but when
tale
I started
back
seriously dating, I realized that it was going to be fucking. That was the thing that really annoyed me was people who try to give me advice about relationships because, you know, and because well, because they didn't know what I was actually doing at night. But it was like, yeah, I know it's not going to be fucking. Ugh. People
We
just
have
assume I don't know.
we have experienced love to great depths and have emotionally, mentally, and even physically suffered. Yay, punched in the
Never
face.
physically suffered, emotionally or mentally. I was able to put everything on the fucking back burner and do my thing. And then at night, I'd be like, fuck.
The third kind of love will arrive into our lives unexpectedly.
Yes, very unexpectedly. Like, completely randomly when I wasn't even searching for anything remotely consisting of love. When I decided to basically dedicate my life, as it was right now, to the show and reviewing and things. And then she, you know, put a crimp in it.
Initially, when we meet that person, we may not want to be in a relationship with them because the personality do not match at all.
No, I never had that feeling. It was more just let's talk and see what happens. And we talked, but
Yes. Uh huh. Why don't you like it when people munch your carpet?
it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's hard to explain. But except for maybe Allison or whatever, she has matched my personality more than anyone who was into metal, any girl who was into metal that I ever dated, or any non-Christian. Like it's. I think it's hilarious that someone so opposite could actually match
Uh-huh.
personality wise.
This love will be totally unplanned and arrive out of the blue, making the connection more strong and passionate.
Yes, it couldn't have been more out of the blue.
At a fairground. Mm-hmm.
No, but hey, that's where I'm going tomorrow.
County fair is always fun,
Well, it's
along
not.
with the guy that makes the talking bear.
It's not. They're not doing the county fair, but it's at the Fairplex.
This love mostly won't be dramatic and romantic as the previous affairs, but will provide a far better peace of mind.
It's it it has two sides. It's romantic. Like we can be all romantic and shit. And if Jim ever read that, he'd probably fucking puke. Although I'm sure Jim could be romantic, he just doesn't want to admit it. Uh, and then it could also be talking about cargo pants.
And how many times have you threatened to poison me?
Couple.
Yes,
I
That
don't
just
keep
gives
track.
me peace of mind you care enough to do it slow.
yes, it goes from romance to. So
See,
how would you?
when Jim
It,
comes over to my house and I offer him a drink, he always says no, and he always brings his own drinks, and so I think he's on to me.
it goes from romance shit that would I'm not repeating here to so how would you kill me?
Yay. It's always the slow and painful kind. That's what I like.
Slow and painful.
The connection we build up with them, the support they provide us, and the effort they insert to build our future with us will make the bond stronger as we
Yeah,
talk about the intricacies of different RPG systems.
and as we talk about everything from the way you pronounce the word zebra, it's zebra, to like really serious things of like what's happening in Africa and things like. I mean, we've had incredibly serious conversations, and we've also had conversations that would make Jim go, "Dear God, why?"
I think the most common question I get is exactly how would you maim this person?
Yes,
And it's always in correlation to some psychotic thing she's having her character do next. And like she's asking a completely serious question of like how a true sociopath would do it.
I live in the world of imagination, so I kind of have to, you know.
I live in I don't know, and it's funny because I live in the world of I don't know what.
It's just so romantic that she comes to me asking these questions. And like it's funny because she's like, I asked the other questions to this group and like they all answered the same thing, but you answered the
Jim
complete
always picks just opposite.
She's done that with me a couple times,
and
and I
I
find
give
it
a
hilarious.
completely valid reason why I pick it.
Yeah.
And I don't even know it's the opposite until she's like, God damn it, again.
Every single time.
Yeah, you've done that with me a couple times, and I think it's hilarious.
Well, I like asking people questions because I like to get different viewpoints of things.
Yes, it's always fun when you just
to make sure
me out
that if I'm on in a situation and I don't see all the outcome of it, how am I supposed to see it if I can't see it myself?
She'll just message me out of the blue with some odd question. And it's like, ooh, this makes me think. Thank you.
Yes. Well, that's kind of the point.
Assuming there was no damage, would you rather wreck into a cliff or wreck into the water? And I said wreck into the cliff because there's no guarantee I'm going to be able to breathe underwater.
Yeah, so would you rather hit the side of a mountain or hit the ocean?
Well, and water hurts like fuck.
Well,
yeah, I've heard that, but everybody picked the ocean.
Fuck. But
at
least if I wreck on ground, I'm going to be able to breathe if I survive.
Well, yes, in the cliff you might not go off.
Mm-hmm.
You might get extremely lucky. So yeah.
Well, in the end, I decided to go with the mountain because it made more sense.
Yeah.
Mountain.
We'll no longer have to hide our flaws and imperfections, as they will accept us as who we are, and we'll accept them for their flaws.
Yep. I mean, I was upfront finally for the first time about, I'm slightly sociopathic and blah, and we talked about it. Yeah, I don't hide who I am. Fuck, she loves the show.
Even though we never imagined we'll end up with this type of a person, we'll be much happier from the inside.
Once again, if I told my past self, hey, you're going to end up with a Christian who likes pop music, my past self would say, you have 10 seconds to get out before I start beating you. From Kenya.
For a person, it can take a whole life to learn the lessons of love. Or if you are lucky, you may grasp all of them in just a few years.
I am lucky Jim is Jim. It's the only thing in my life I've actually been lucky about.
Yeah, you lucked out whenever you met a complete sociopath that was into death metal and just said, fuck you, to your face. And then started making fun of you for being blind to the point where I now have to get ultra creative because I've expended it all.
I'll tell you, one of the jokes that I'm really fucking sick of is, you watch, you don't watch. It's like, it's not offensive. It's just like, oh my God, shut up.
Yeah, it's becoming predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People can't come up with different. And I lucked out when I met Jels because, fuck, I was not expecting anything. I was honestly just doing my thing. And so, yes, I was lucky. Jim is Jim. And like I said, it's the only thing that I've ever been lucky in my life about. Most of the time, it's,
See, one of these days, you're just going to wake up and take out the dog shit you found on the floor, not knowing that it was actually my shit.
Okay. Well, I don't know because I've never smelled your shit and I hope not to, but I'm guessing if a dog like made a smell like that, they'd have to put it down.
Yes. You're like, oh my God, my dog's diseased.
He's got fucking intestinal worms or something. Good God, man.
We're sorry, Fluffy. It's old Yeller time.
Oh.
We have seen people who fell in love at the age of 50 plus and enter matrimony and breed. They breed with the 20 something. They
I
just
mean, I'm not saying it'll. I'm not one of those people who it will live happily ever after. I'm just saying that right now it seems pretty damn permanent.
We have also seen people who have been married for many years and still love their partners passionately.
If she ever gets unbusy and comes on this show, Jim, you might go insaner. Because the two of us are just
That's good.
crazy.
I like insanity.
Yes, you'll be getting off the show and you'll be like, the goat's a pope, the goat's a pope.
This third kind of love could arrive to your life at any age, and once you find it, it's forever. Or at least until something happens, which will probably kill you.
Okay, so now I have an issue with that because this is how I perceive of love in general. Okay, now I'm polyamorous, and I never really fall out of love with somebody, even if they do heinous things and I don't like them anymore. I still love them in some way.
I still think I was never really in love until this point. I mean, because I've had some good feelings, but this is the only part where it's actually been like,
Yeah, well, you define it the way that you do, and that's okay.
Rather than being swept away, it's like, well, I could actually spend.
Grew on you like a fungus. No offense, just kidding. It grew on you like a fungus.
Yes.
It just kind of happened.
Yes, and rather than, I mean, yes, I was a little swept away, obviously, but it, sweeping away calms down, and well, it's either whatever, or yeah, I could spend my life with this person. As far as that goes, Jim will die.
Everyone dies.
Yes, and you were talking about killing you. I will make damn sure that I don't die until I go to the hospital. My last words will be 4 simultaneous days in one single Earth rotation. And then people will be shitting themselves trying to figure out what the hell I meant. He was really rational up until that point.
That's just going to be like a rosebud mention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dear.
Yes. It's going to be
the sense in which we already know everything and just need to realize it.
I don't know everything. In fact, I freely admit that part of my job on this show is acting like I have an idea of what I'm talking about.
There are many points in my life back when I did a lot of acid that I discovered all the secrets to the universe.
Unfortunately, they were acid trips, so you can't actually tell us.
I remember, okay, I kind of see this as being like Professor Farnsworth. It came to me in a dream, and then I forgot it in another one.
It came to me in a dream. I forgot it in another dream.
Well, the one time I forgot it because I drank the Orange Julius, the cigarette butt in it. And the other time, it was a great conversation. The best, most, oh my God, beautiful. All the points laid out, everything neat, nice. And we even recorded it. And it was 2 hours straight of us just laughing at the stereo.
Where the fuck was that quote from? I know the quote, I just don't remember what episode it's from. Fuck.
Oh, it's the one where Qbert goes and saves Farnsworth from the
right.
old
Okay.
people thing.
A clone of my own. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
At first sight, this seems a ridiculous idea.
It's always funny when Danimond and I make references Jim doesn't know.
No, I knew the reference. It was Futurama.
Ooh, he's smart for once.
I just didn't feel like saying it because I thought that was a given.
Well, no, I mean like the actual episode, because once you say it, it's just like, oh, what episode is that in?
I don't remember the names of them, but I can tell you what is happening in the episode because I've seen that show too goddamn many times.
I have seen the show about 100 times. Yes, I mean it's a great show, but it's like, geez.
It's a ridiculous idea that has apparently been refuted by the great accumulation of knowledge through human history. But I believe
I believe in anarchy.
there is a sense in which the broader argument is indicative of a profound insight. And this is why the argument has been taken seriously for more than 2,000 years, since Plato.
Yay.
Yay, so I'm born with the entire lifetime of knowledge a la reincarnation, right? Let's see, am I right? The sense that life is two curves running from childhood to maturity, a rising line of self-consciousness which increases from childhood to a maximum plateau attained at adolescence.
Yes. 19-year-olds are mature.
And a descending line of innate and spontaneous knowing, which is high in childhood, albeit is an unconscious knowing, and reaches a nadir at adolescence.
Okay.
So I was an alien?
Yes.
My mom always said I was.
I'm adopted.
Well, I never understood that whole feeling until I had a child of my own, and then I was like, yeah, I understand now, because when I had my son, it was like, this person is a completely different person. I made that thing, and oh my god, it's so fucking weird.
That's probably what my family.
Core 7.
That's probably what my family says about me every damn night. What the hell's that thing, and how did it?
Yeah, how did it get here?
Oh, if
How
you
did
only.
this happen? I don't understand.
Yes,
It must
well,
have been an alien.
Cthulhu had a. I'm supposed to open
I
the
was
gates.
conceived in a barn, literally.
Well, for me, it's I'm supposed to open the gates to Yog-Sothoth.
I like my story better.
I don't care.
Just because I was conceived in a barn.
Were you born in a barn? Close to it.
In modern society, adolescence is spiritually where matters stop. What we call adulthood is not maturity, but merely a sustained and degenerate adolescence. I love being degenerate.
Yeah.
Modern quote-unquote adults have lost their spontaneous natural knowledge. The world is flat. The color blue is purple.
For simultaneous, Jim, we need to make Time Cube the musical.
Time Cube the musical.
For simultaneous days
in one single earth rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh God, I'm reminded of this thing that I saw in a music class.
Santa God revolves of Santa Claus. Santa God revolves of Santa.
Which was like some sort of like opera musical about like fucking Einstein, and like people were just shouting different numbers, like 3, 7, 2, 9, 2, in the background while they're doing all this other shit.
You are uneducated, stupid.
It was like an acid trip.
Yes, none of us can sing, we know.
Instead, just passively absorbing propaganda and hypotheses from quote-unquote society.
Oh yeah, teenagers never do that. I was fucking full of propaganda as a fucking kid. It was only when I was about 20 that Allison's teachings finally kicked in, and I was like, oh yeah, huh.
And they live in a cut-off state of self-consciousness, so cut off that it doubts and denies even itself.
I want to doubt and deny even myself.
So you've taken no time to look inward. That's the spontaneous natural knowledge that I'm always right. The toys are all mine. Fuck off.
Oh God.
That's my spontaneous natural knowledge as a kid.
I've looked inward.
Oh God, setting fire to my G.I. Joes. That's spontaneous natural knowledge. That gas puts out fire.
Fire indeed hot.
Gasoline can put out fire. That's spontaneous natural knowledge.
Yeah.
Just tales from my childhood. Right then and there.
Where's the fucking book, Jim?
I don't know. Fuck, I gotta think of how to start it. And what the fuck? That's like literally the hardest thing, and what tone to take with it, you know?
You actually have people, about 4 people, who have asked me, "Where's his book? How can I buy it?"
Oh, God. Jim's. The Memoirs of the Jim. Oh, God. Oh, go through my fucking first memories.
Audiobook read by you.
Where I just like fucking, oh, God. I remember my dad was pissed off at my mom for something, so he wanted to make certain he saw her immediately after work, so he picked me up and took me to the bar and placed me in front of a Pong machine. Now, I used to brag to my friends that this was like one of the original ones, but it couldn't have been because this was well after its release and everything. But, you know, I was a kid when I was bragging about it being the first one. But literally, I was playing, first video game I ever played was Pong inside a bar. And I remember he was just there to bitch my mom out over some random bullshit. And she had to be pregnant with my sister at the time.
He sounds like an utterly pleasant human being.
Oh, yeah. The funny part was I heard from the fucking nurses that were taking care of him at the nursing home after, like, neither me nor my sister had come to visit him in over a year, that he just sat there and said, "I'm resigned to being repentant." And that's all they said that he said before, he passed away.
That I'm resigned to being repentant. I don't know if he
I
actually
don't
knew
know
what
what he
that
was
meant.
repenting about. I mean, it could have been just something like, "Oh, I'm repenting from the fact I was a porn maggot," to, "Oh my God, I actually realized I was the toxic one
But
who
it's
was
it's not
driving
even like.
everyone
But it's not
away
even
from
like
me."
he's resigned. I guess I'll be repentant now. I'm
And he
dead.
died, just a few months later.
But that's such a. Oh,
It's a
that's
sad
yeah.
life.
Tales of Degeneracy and Feces.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking write it.
Tales of Degeneracy and Feces. Oh God, that is an actual title.
By Jim Thompson. Chapter 1.
The task of adolescence ought to be to change that descending line of knowing into an arc, rising in adult maturity to reach the same kind of spontaneous and universal knowing that we began with.
I mean,
So
I tried to be Mr. Hardcore with Allison, and she was like, "No, you're not. Shut up and do what I say. Maybe one day I'll be something." And it took 5 years, but finally, when she saw me again 3 years ago, she's like, "Well, you finally took my advice. Took you long enough."
So blindly memorizing mantras, not spontaneous and universal knowing. You just that's cult-like behavior right there.
I want a cold.
But this time it is conscious knowing. That's a lot of drugs. This is from someone who has decided to have his comments moderated. Anonymous comments are seldom, never published. Personal emails are welcome.
Who is this guy?
Bruce Charlton's.
Okay.
Notions.
Well, you're insane, Bruce.
Thus, children know everything. like gasoline puts out fire.
Nail bombs are fucking scary.
No, you didn't. No, you thought they were. You knew they were awesome. But then you forgot they were awesome and fell into this, thing of degeneracy by thinking that they were scary and could potentially kill you. Therefore, you should stop making nail bombs.
Because
So the fact that you thought nail bombs were cool was actually you being knowledgeable
The
and
son of a bitch rips
spontaneous
through
universal knowledge that nail bombs are cool.
the
But
son of
then after detonating it, your fucking knowledge became corrupted into this absorption of propaganda and hypotheses from society.
the son of a bitch ripped through a fucking tree in a fucking park bench. And I just remember Puke was really paranoid because I think he took some bad drugs. And he actually said, "Should we like gather up the nails before we go?" I was like, "Fuck that, we're out of here. Bye." Because I was like, I am not sticking around here because they has destroyed an entire park bench, and there's a tree that's half dead right now. I know, and I actually saw it in the local paper. Fuck, I don't know if they made an online edition yet, but I'll try to get it. Where park bench destroyed and tree vandalized, nails everywhere. We think it was high school kids with. They didn't. I guess they didn't see all the like explosive material because they thought it was just high school kids like with hammers and shit. Yeah, hammers do that. Fucking
Mm-hmm.
yeah, hammers rip through trees and shit. I guess you didn't see the explosive detritus.
I just remember the Jackhammer Massacre. That was a good movie.
Oh, what
Bing,
an
bing,
amazing!
bing, 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 bing. Ah!
That is a fucking great movie.
It was just a sad
Yeah.
day whenever he ran out of extension cord.
It's the most random ending too. He's just ran out of extension. Fuck it.
Like after running, I don't know how many miles around this building, he finally ran out of extension cord.
I was like, oh, such a fucking cop out. I loved it. Jim, we need to see August Underground in the sequels.
Oh, lovely. Thus, children know everything but are unaware of the fact. Adolescents know nothing and are aware of the fact.
So
But
wait, stop. So I knew everything. So nail bombs aren't scary. They're actually cool. They're not fucking terrifying and fucking destructive. And you should never, ever, ever, ever try this at home, kids.
And remember, you can use gasoline to put out fire because it worked that one time whenever Jeff poured gasoline on a small flame that smothered it and it went out, which gave him the idea that gasoline can put out fire. So he tried to put out a larger fire with gasoline. And then whenever his lawn went ablaze because the flame shot up to the nozzle, caught the nozzle on fire, and he tried to put the nozzle fire out by pouring gasoline from the canister on it, and it just shot all over the yard. No. This was the act of the gasoline putting out the fire. It wasn't us being morons setting the lawn ablaze as I stomped out every fire he made. The gasoline was still putting out the fire. It's just, I don't know.
Kids, try this at home.
This is horrible, horrible shit.
Seriously, don't try this at home, fuckers. We don't want to get sued.
Yeah, this is horrible advice. Don't use gasoline to put out fire. Just say.
Nail bombs. Don't make them, please.
Yeah.
I'm only going to say this. If you use gasoline to put out a fire, then you earn the third-degree burns that you're about to get.
Or the huge patches of scorched earth in your backyard, as was the case at Jeff's. And this was all happening during the time I was banned from seeing him because he stole the money from Boy Scouts, but I took the blame for it because, well, I didn't do it.
And if you want to know how much,
so if his parents would have found out I was there, part of this, it would have made things worse.
and if you want to know how much the nail bomb freaked people out, Dave was, as I told you before, the really crazy guy who would do shit because he would do shit. One of our friends suggested making a nail gun, and Dave grabbed him by the shirt collar and shakes him and, don't you ever mention nails again. We are not fucking with that ever again. And during Crazy Dave say that, it was like, okay, we'll take your advice.
Well, it's
'Cause
about
he's
as bright as whenever we made homemade napalm and
oh
set it on fire on this brick wall we found, and like we were trying to keep it contained, and Jeff went to stomp it out, and napalm did what napalm does, which is stick to things. So it
yeah.
stuck to the bottom of his shoe, and he started trying to stomp out the fire on the bottom of his shoe till it finally gives up. It's like, dear God, I forgot that would happen. But no, it's perfectly okay to stomp out napalm.
Yes, because when you're a teen kid, you know everything and don't know it.
Mhm.
When you're a teenager, you know nothing, and well, I'll agree with when you're a teenager, you know nothing and know it. Actually, I'll disagree. When I was a teenager, Jim, I knew everything.
Oh,
At
I
least
did too.
that's what I thought I did. I knew fucking everything. You could
Mhm.
not tell me anything because I knew everything. And now that I'm a kid, now that I'm quote unquote an adult, I know nothing.
But spiritually mature grown-ups potentially know everything and know what they know.
Okay.
Four simultaneous days in one single Earth rotation.
What are you sharing with us and why?
I don't know, but this is great. I say adults potentially know everything because the process of discovering what you already know is linear and happens in time. So you're contradict. What? That's a lot of drugs, son. That's a lot of drugs. Uh, I know because I once did that many drugs.
And see, the thing is about like the hard partying and drinking thing. You could never do this show drunk.
No, you couldn't. It just you just get lost in all the tangents that come up.
I mean, especially because this is not a show that. I mean, we do not frown upon tangents here. This is a very tangential show, so you would trying to like follow along with us, and then wait, they're talking about something else now. Where am I?
And then we come back to topic. Oh,
Yes,
the
and
fuck just
goats
happened?
and
It's
goats.
like oh god,
He took some acid or something.
pervert that like fucking filmed the chick in the shower.
Yeah.
Outer knowledge. Like before he did that, I took him to see Guar for the first time. And you want to know how he described it?
How?
It was like opening an evil vortex to hell. Standing on our side of it, looking in it for about an hour, then closing it and going back home.
By the way, off topic, but dear Guar, stop playing with shitty core bands.
Yes. So it'd be more accurate to say that knowledge is unbounded, open ended, and tends towards a situation of knowing everything that can be known.
He's not quite Gene Ray.
No, but this is like, oh my god.
Oh heck, something's going on down there.
Sounds like a fire.
Yeah, well, I live next to 3 civil sirens, so
Yeah.
it's bound to happen.
Always from the perspective of a single self.
Oh, please kill me.
This scenario is presumably why all real learning, all knowing of truth,
All knowing of the truth.
which truth do you want? The meaning of life is paradox. Like we boiled it down to one word, I think, at one point. And that was the word we came up with. That is the all-knowing of truth.
Truth.
Has the distinct feeling of being a realizing, a remembering, a recognition. I'm always thinking back to the times when I did the dumbest things in human history.
God, I love those stories. It almost makes you want to react. I can't because everyone's dead or gone. But oh, your stories, Jim, make me so nostalgic. I almost want to go back just once. And
It's like whenever we sat there one day and we made these little cards. We got the business card machine that was in the middle of the mall, and it was like, this is long before you could do all this shit at home for like next to nothing.
yeah,
So this was like a hot thing for us. We're like, okay, we're gonna make business cards, and the business cards were made for the Department of Population Control. We'll make them and break them for procreation and termination. And we found this right around Easter. So imagine, if you would, two stoners and a guy that could pass for a stoner but was just completely psychotic at the time before he even did drugs. Going up and
which
getting their
one was
picture
you?
taken with the Easter Bunny, each of us holding up one of those business cards that we made like 20 of. And, after getting that picture taken, we began distributing the cards to random people we saw at the
Which
mall.
which one was you? Were you a stoner or just psychotic?
I was the psychotic one. This is before I
Ah,
did drugs.
oh, you were.
Because at the time I was like, I was hanging out with them. I was like, I don't need drugs because I'm crazy enough, blah, blah, blah. And then I started doing drugs. Like, I don't even
And
remember the first time I got stoned, but John has regaled me of the tales of me pretty much drooling on myself in the fetal position and then asking for more and somehow just mysteriously popping up to smoke more and then doing something completely retarded. And I forget half the stories, but he has
this
told me these stories. I still remember the first time I got Jeff stoned. Oh, God, that was fun.
that's such a metaphor for this show, to be honest.
The knowledge is always familiar, quote unquote. Wow, it's like that sensation of deja vu.
Yo,
We always feel that we always knew that. I always knew.
I always knew.
I always knew the meaning of life, but I kept slipping away from me because we were either drinking the Orange Julius, the cigarette butt in it, or laughing at the stereo, or, But I always knew it was paradox.
Yes.
We always feel that we always knew that, but had never articulated it. I'm saying that what we always did know that, but did not realize we knew it, and could not use that knowing that until after we had articulated it.
Word.
Okay. In terms of knowledge trajectory, is therefore from unconscious knowledge to conscious knowledge, from the implicit to the explicit, from immersion in knowledge to standing outside it, from passivity through contemplation to creativity. I want
I
those trucks.
seriously want weed right now.
Oh, God.
Because the only way I'm going to even comprehend this is by altering my brain to the point where I think the goat's a pope.
See, I got some of those souvenir like things that look like a fucking flask with the really long neck, narrow neck in the middle, and the wide base and the wide top. And then what we did was we drilled a hole in the base and turned that part into a bong. But then we found like this lid that fit perfectly inside, and we put it in and stuck it about halfway through, and then put cement or fucking plumber's cement around it so that way it would seal it off and be airtight. And then we drilled holes into the sides so that way we would have two hoses leading from the bong portion, up to the inhaling portion,
Yes.
and like It was like all mutated because we had the plumber cement, like just putting in plastic pieces everywhere. It just looked all fucked up, and we called it the GIMP.
We
So
never hear off the
whenever
game,
someone said, "Pass me the GIMP," we knew we were getting high.
and
Just
people
like
would probably look at you and go, "What the?"
and later, when I actually had money from selling drugs, I went out and bought Charlene. Charlene was a 6 foot tall bong. I was the
I
only
have
one.
it's honestly, it's not as impressive because I've seen an 8 foot tall bong. So
God, and I got up, and Clyde was the 2.5 foot bong.
yeah, see it would be more impressive if I haven't seen an 8 foot tall.
I know, but this was me in my attic.
Puke had it, and do you actually smoke it? And he's like, come here. So I smoked an 8 foot bong.
So if we had Charlene, Clyde, and the GIMP going around, that we were just going to be smoking pretty much a quarter pound in very short time.
I just wonder if someone passed the GIMP and someone just looks at them like, what?
Exactly. I think someone did do that because they knew that GIMP stood for, okay, did he mean cripple? Did he mean the fucking, Dom? Did he mean the sub? Did he mean what the fuck? Oh, Dom! Okay.
Yes.
Then my one buddy, who shall not be named, did a beer bong filled with Goldenschlager. And to this day, he cannot drink any cinnamon-flavored booze.
Yeah, a beer bong full of that would pretty much put me out of that for life.
But he was trying to mimic me, proving he was hardcore. And that was even more hardcore than me doing the cheap vodka because that has the gold flakes in it, which put tiny micro tears in your esophagus.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story. This kid who later actually became pretty funny, but he thought we were Mr. Hard. He wasn't trying to prove himself, but he thought he wanted to hang out with us because he thought we were Mr. Hardcore. And so he comes into the house, and Puke and I were drinking peppermint schnapps because we knew that he thought we were hardcore. What's the most grandma drink we could find? Here, peppermint schnapps, which is great, and it gets you really fucking drunk, and you don't know you're drunk because it's peppermint. It's sort of like a lemonade and rum. Have you ever had that? So you drink it, and it tastes like lemonade.
Moonshine does that to you.
And then you drink it. Yeah. Any sort of flavored drinks that you can't really taste.
You know what jungle juice is?
Describe it. It may have been
no, there might be different forms of it. I keep forgetting. But the way we made it was we took pure grain, 180 proof, and just threw a bunch of fruit in it and let it sit overnight.
Yeah, I know what that is.
And it came out tasting all nice and drinking flat out Kool-Aid with no alcoholic aftertaste. Yep. But 2 cups of that and you're waking up next Tuesday. It is Tuesday.
Yeah, we had that. I don't remember what we actually called it, but Puke used to do shit like that. And he used to he used to call it Jonestown specialty, I think. Here's some Jonestown specialty. Fucking 2 glasses of that. Yeah. Where am I? Oh my god, it's been 2 days and I don't even recognize this floor.
Schneiderman called me brown slave and slapped me until I called him master.
That's an interesting story.
State Attorney General Eric Schneiderman called his Sri Lankan girlfriend his brown slave and wanted her to refer to him as master, the woman says. Did she consent to this? So I know a lot of people into that kind of kink.
Yeah, I did too, but I don't know because I wasn't fucking there.
Harvard-educated activist writer. Oh, well, there's your problem there. Activist. Tanya Selvatanum told the New Yorker magazine that her year-long affair with Schneiderman was a fairy tale that became a nightmare.
Yeah, oftentimes people will lead you in with fucking prom and then they'll fucking go psychotic. So maybe she didn't consent. I don't know. I'm more inclined to take her word for it only because I wasn't fucking there.
Sometimes he'd tell me to call him master, and he'd slap me until I did.
There must be something really heavy going on there.
Yeah, I know. That's weird.
So much fun. He started calling me his brown slave, demanding that I repeat that I was his property.
Which is, I mean, yeah, I've heard if she didn't sign up for that, that's kind of fucked.
The slaps started after we'd gotten to know each other. It was at first as if he was teasing me. Then it got stronger and harder.
Well, that's one of the things you need to do is basically ask, hey, are you into kink and shit?
It wasn't consensual. This wasn't sexual play acting. This was abusive, demeaning, threatening behavior.
Yeah, if it wasn't consensual, that's fucked. If it was, then fine. But yeah.
But, you know, this
Here's
is all
another issue. Sometimes, and this is just from a female perspective, sometimes you'll engage in an act that you don't like and you don't want, but you think it's easier to just let it happen and get over with it because women are stupid sometimes.
Yes, it's called Swine Brothers. Oh!
He was obsessed with having a threesome and said it was my job to find a woman.
It is kind of fucked. I mean, come on.
I've seen people act like that before, and that's just...
yeah, I mean, but if she didn't consent to it...
No, I mean the whole find me a woman that I can have sex with besides you.
Yeah.
That kind of crap. Like, no, I'm not doing your job for you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
You fucking...
Because, you know, people I find would not be very pleasing to you, probably. Yeah.
I'm just, you know...
He said he'd have nothing to look forward to if I didn't, and wouldn't hit me until I agreed. Oh, and would hit me until I agreed.
And wouldn't hit me till I
agreed.
Oh, wait, depends on what kind of kink we're talking about there.
He may have refused to hit her until she agreed, but because she wasn't into the threesome thing, that's whenever everything turned around.
Yes.
It could be that, you know.
Well, I mean, who knows? I mean, like I said, it could be he gets to know people and then fucking lets, which is a bullshit thing. He needs to fucking be open about his kinks and things like that.
Schneiderman was not only slapping her, but spitting on her and choking her. He was cutting off my ability to breathe. I know chicks that would pay good money for that.
Sounds like really, really close to the actual kink.
Yeah, but I mean, if she's not into it, he needs to find someone who is. I mean,
no, obviously.
Either that or it's the
way that they're describing this, it makes it sound like the kink itself.
That's the problem.
It sounds like it's pure kink. And remember, this is a state attorney general.
That's the problem.
So, you know, someone broke up with him, and now it's like time to just fucking totally slander him because, oh my God, politics.
I got my feelings hurt.
Yeah. Yes, but I also know people who are Mr. Nice Guy and Mr. I'm Normal until they get to know someone, and then they let the kink come out. What you need to do is be open. Yes, you may think I'm weird, but I have these weird fucking sexual fetishes. Are you into this? No? Well, we have a problem.
We could rarely have sex without him beating me.
So, in my opinion, that's where he fucked up. I mean, I don't know if this story is true or not. I don't know if it's slander or not. I wasn't there. I'm playing devil's advocate here just because I kind of just, why not?
The Attorney General was often fueled by booze, and he would push her to drink too, she said. Drink your bourbon, Turnip. He said.
Drink,
he ordered her.
I'm sorry, that's just a really stupid nickname.
It's a dumb nickname.
It is.
Fucking drinking yet? Go fuck you very fucking drinking.
Her friend finally helped her leave him.
Well,
Schneiderman told the mag in a statement, "In the privacy of intimate relationships, I have engaged in role-playing and other consensual sexual activity. I have not assaulted anyone. I have never engaged in non-consensual sex, which is a line I would not cross."
now because I'm playing devil's advocate, because
Well, that
you
sounds
guys
very
aren't.
stock response.
Yes, that is a very that's a very stock pool. Oh, of course he's not gonna. What do you
Of
guys
course, I
expect him
didn't
to
do that.
fucking-
I'm a saint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what do you expect him to like? Yeah, I'm a
No,
fucking.
yeah, totally.
I am of course a pervert. No form of sexual depravity is too much for me.
Well,
Animal,
not everybody can
vegetable, or
be
mineral
Jem.
will do anything to anything.
Sexecutioner.
La 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 la. When you're on your knees.
Yes. I think that's where I'm going to call it for the evening because, oh God,
Oh, Jim's too old for us.
too old. What, you want another one?
I sent you a link. I want you to look at it over Facebook.
Over Facebook, okay.
By the way, the band Do Scented are breaking up, and that sucks because they're a good band.
Hold on 1 second while I see if this link's got anything fun in it.
Of the limitless sex and violence. Welcome to the slaughter. What are you going to do? It will be a repetance when we get done with you. Sorry.
Oh God. Here we go. Yeah, I think I will do this one.
It's funny, isn't it?
Out there. I didn't even read the whole thing. I just saw the headline, and I'm like,
I know.
I have to. I have to now.
Yes.
Oh God. Rocks falling into oceans, not climate, causing seas to rise. Congressman suggests.
Oh yeah, I saw this and I couldn't care less, but yay.
A rolling stone may gather no moss, but if it tumbles into the ocean, you can expect the seas to rise.
I personally find this fucking hilarious.
Oh, God. At least that's the theory embraced by Representative Mo Brooks, Republican Alabama, during a hearing held Wednesday at the White
from
House Committee
Alabama.
on Science, Space, and Technology.
He's from Alabama. What do you expect?
Well, no, I don't expect very much from people from Alabama. You know, I'm from up north. I'm from Kentucky. We don't believe in this kind of nonsense.
That's a joke. The Mud Bomb radio show is from Alabama, and it was very.
Oh, I
funny.
know. I just think it's funny.
I miss Mud Bomb. They were
God,
such an influence.
Alabamans. Fucking Alabamans.
On how technology can be used to address climate change. Obliterate all rocks on Earth.
Yes!
Obliterate all people on Earth.
We need to blow up all of the mountains.
Blowing up
that now.
Blowing up the mountains.
Oh God, it's like people saying that like the world's going to end as that volcano out in the Pacific or wherever.
Hawaii.
I forget where. It's the one that just erupted.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Hawaii. Sorry, people. Jim's not exactly on the ball or even close.
Not everybody sees that
I didn't even care. I just know
he is as far away.
If it makes you feel better, I didn't see it until it actually erupted the second time. So.
He is as far away from the ball as possible.
Yes. It's like that time that I was in Little League and I went to bunt the ball, but it still hit me in the face and it counted as a strike.
Oh, you're lucky. People used to punch the damn thing into my face, so go you.
There you go. That's where the ball went.
Yeah. So yeah, Hawaiian volcano that's going to rip in two, and you're going to see an island drifting like it's a boat. And the world's coming to an end because everything's going in there, and global warming is going to skyrocket because of all the CFCs that volcanoes erupted. God, I have seen so much random shit from people who sound, and half of them are from your age range, Elliot.
Whatever.
Hey, this is how much they know from Bill Nye the Science Guy, they claim. Where it's all being ripped in half and the world's coming to an end because a volcano erupted.
You shouldn't learn everything from Bill Nye. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Bill Nye himself would probably feel it very, very flattering if you got a love for science from watching his show, but then continued your research on your own initiative.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? They fucking...
No, they don't do that. Absolutely not.
They see Bill Nye and think they know everything about science. Or even he'd tell you, no, it's a beginner's thing.
Yeah, you got to keep going because everything grade school? No, hell no, you're not learning all the science you can.
And Jim, I like one person from my age range, okay? That's fucking... I didn't expect to.
While questioning Philip Duffy, president of Woods Hole Research Center, about what, in addition to climate change, might be driving the rising sea levels, Brooks suggested erosion might be a factor. Wait, so the seas rising is a factor in the seas rising.
I command you to rise.
Do you even comprehend how?
No, he doesn't.
No, you don't.
Don't even.
Oh!
Don't even. It's not worth it.
Every single year that we're on Earth, you have huge tons of silt deposited by the Mississippi River, by the Amazon River, by the Nile, by every major system.
The only reason why I'm not laughing or it's more apathetic is because I have heard this before. This is not a new theory.
I know, but it's so sad.
It's just, well. See, thank you for choosing this last.
I like it. I like the idea. I like it. I think, if you think about it, it's very childlike.
Yes.
And I like to imagine that there's all these grown-ups who are actually, in charge of making decisions for our country who are just fucking children.
Yes, but thank you for choosing this last, both of you, because all I can think in my mind right now is I need a fucking vacation.
Oh, hold on 1 second here.
Thank you. You've made my you've made my weekend plans even more fun.
Saying that it was a child just reminded me of the sense in which we already know everything and just need to realize it. Yeah, erosion is the cause of the rising ocean.
I never even thought about that when I was
is what causes the erosion.
That's offensive to children.
Look, I have 2 kids of my own. This is entirely something that they would think of. They think differently than we do.
It wasn't something I ever thought of.
But you don't remember being a child because I don't.
I remember being but I'm a lot younger than
I can't remember every thought I had. I just remember.
I remember the major thoughts I had.
I know. When I was 5 years old, I wrote stories about bunny rabbits that were crazy because they jumped into lakes. That's about all I can tell you.
I can tell you the major thoughts I had. I can remember things like songs that played once in the car that nobody else remembers. I have a good memory. I never thought that global warming was caused by fucking...
See, I remember this TV show that was called Oops. And it was the Gilligan's Island formula applied to a post-nuclear war world.
Yes.
And no one else I talk to remembers that show.
I will also add, I don't know if I mentioned this on air, but Jim singing fucking Gem and the Holograms was voted the weirdest moment on Swine Brothers.
Me and my friends are rape girls. Rape is my name.
Yes.
And for that matter, creak all the way down to the smallest systems, Brooks said. And every time you have that soil or rock or whatever it is that is deposited into the seas, that forces the seas levels to rise. Because now you've got less space in those oceans because the bottom is moving up.
Oh,
Everyone sing Powerhouse with me. Dun, 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 dun,
God bless
dun,
that poor
dun, dun,
retarded
dun.
child in Senate.
Remember, the sense in which we already know everything and just need to realize it.
Well, my kids actually do come up with some really interesting ideas occasionally that I kind of use for my stories, but they're nowhere near this fucking dumb.
Waller's coming. Start running.
Brooks pointed to the white cliffs of Dover and to California, where you have the waves crashing against the shorelines, and you have the cliffs crash into the sea.
Oh, wait. Does he somehow forget that there is actually a geographical feature of the Earth itself that creates new mountains?
I don't think he understands anything.
And these new mountains are created by volcanoes.
Rattlesnakes.
Rattlesnakes. Oh, I'd like to hear that explanation.
Yeah.
I'm too sober right now. You know what?
36
Jesus,
hits
that,
of
that
acid.
sounds like a fucking
You
hoot.
can't-
No, Jim. You don't even have to feed me 36 hits of acid. I've been up since 5 in the morning. So
Oh, well, you're already loopy. Let's go.
So just no. I'm not yet loopy. Keep me up for about 6 more hours, and Jim has heard me on like 25 hours of being awake. I'm like, and then I like the.
I've been there.
All that displaces the water, which forces it to rise, does it not? Brooks said.
I'm too awake for this.
Oh,
Maybe taking a
Elliot.
shit in the ocean is causing it to rise.
What?
Jim, stop shitting in the goddamn ocean. Elliot, can we get a flat earther on the show? Because I would really like to.
I have tried to get a fucking
brain.
flat earther on the show. They won't answer my messages.
Oh, I really want to get.
Neither will Shane Mathis.
I just want to hear them. I want to pick their brain. That's all I want to do.
Neither will Shane Mathis. Neither will Travis Ryan, the dickhead. Sorry, I don't like Travis Ryan. A lot of these people I actually want on the show won't answer my messages.
Aww.
Killjoy was supposed to do an interview on the show, and then he died.
Aww.
I wonder if Satan was like, dude, do you really want to do an interview on this show? Oh hell no, kill me now, please.
Hey, that's a good advertisement right there.
Yeah, well, Jim has a rule. Please don't try to meet any musicians or get into because they'll die. Like Dave Rocky from Guar, I was going to meet him next time he came to town. Guess what happened?
He died.
Seth Putnam from Anal Kind. I was supposed to meet him next time he came to town. Guess what happened?
Well, Elliot, you're cursed.
Of course I'm fucking cursed. Fuck.
Or are you a curse?
Wait.
Hard to say.
The only reason Jim won't die when I come to meet him is because he's already cursed to live.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that on human time scales, those are minuscule effects, Duffy answered. The Post found that it would take the equivalent of the top 5 inches of land from the entire surface area of the United States to cause the oceans to rise 3.3 milliliters.
That's a lot of land.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And those 5 inches would have to fall into the oceans every year to explain the rate at which they are currently rising.
Just imagine 5 inches of the U.S. just randomly disappearing every year.
I can't even dig 5 inches down into my goddamn yard.
Everyone just start singing Powerhouse. Dun dun dun
Yes.
dun 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 dun.
The Climate Change Denier Comedy Hour.
God. Oh, that was good.
All right. Is that it?
That is it.
All right. This has been the Swine Brothers Show, episode 148 for May the 17th or the 18th for those two, 2018. You can contact us once again at cosmicgodsdie@gmail.com. Send us questions, comments, articles, requests, death threats. We'll take articles.
I will. I want a flat earther on the show.
Okay.
If you're willing.
And I want a metal head. I want a guy from a band or a girl from a band. Supposed to get Jeannie from Ye Goat Her Gods on. Facebook is Swine Brothers and Twitter is SwineBro666. For the token female, Dandamon. For the token whatever the fuck he is, Jim. I am your ever mutated host, Elliot Lindemood. So long and thanks for all the fucking fuck.
Rages with benefits with Go-Go, the landworm.